is in the cleanup spot. He will be in left field. The A's have been able to, for the most part, keep Cabrera and Cespedes quiet in the first 2 games of this series. Ian Kinsler struggling. He will hit 5th, and he will play second base. J.D. Martinez will be the designated hitter today. So Martinez, the DH, and he will hit 6th. Tyler Collins gets a start in right field. Collins in right, hitting 7th. Nick Castellanos is the third baseman, and he will hit 8th. Castellanos hitting 8th and playing third base. And the catcher in the 9th spot is Brian Holiday. Holiday is your catcher, hitting 9th, and that is the starting lineup for the home team, Detroit Tigers. Well, this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics for the private and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or retransmission of the description and accounts of this game in any form without the express written consent of the Oakland Athletics is strictly prohibited. So the A's going for the sweep. Last time they swept the Tigers here in Detroit, well, you got to go back to August of 2002. They have a chance to do that today here at Comerica Park. So Shane Green has finished his warm-up tosses. The ball has been tossed around the infield. Billy Burns heads to the batter's box, so we are set for day baseball in Detroit. And here is Vince Cotroneo.
And the A's are also trying for their first 4-game winning streak of the season. Nice job, Kite. This is easy for you, isn't it?
No, it's not. Just trying to get along, you know.
Sounds easy. Looks easy.
Thank you.
Hurry up and talk. Billy Burns going to be swinging at the first pitch.
And he stands in with an 8-game hitting streak against the right-hander Shane Green, a 26-year-old out of Clermont, Florida. First pitch of today's game bounced on the right side, and the second baseman has it. Kinsler to Cabrera, and Burns is retired on 1 pitch. That's how we start our Thursday at Comerica. Of course, Ray Foster knew that was going to happen.
How did he know that?
You know, and if you're playing him defensively or pitching against him, you really throw him a pitch down the middle, and you got everybody playing so shallow. Just let him put the ball in play. And Billy's not going to see a lot of pitches, not going to take a lot, and he's had a lot of success hitting the first pitch.
Now Ben Zobrist playing second base today. Switch hitter batting left, and a fastball is a called strike. And there are the familiar sounds of today's home plate umpire, Jim Joyce. Greg Gibson, the umpire at first. Chad Fairchild at second. Marvin Hudson is at third. Here's the 0-1. It's on the outside corner. And Zobrist behind at 0-2. Batting .234, 2 homers and 14 driven in. They overshift on Zobrist. 3 infielders on the right side. Castellanos in shallow right between Cabrera and Kinsler. Fastball darts inside from Green. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cabrera, the first baseman. Kinsler at second. Jose Iglesias, the shortstop, and Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, except in the shift. And Brian Holiday behind the plate. 1-2 pitch, high pop-up for Cabrera, the first baseman. Behind the bag, drifting into foul territory a few steps. He'll make the catch. And there are quickly 2 outs.
It took a great game pitch by Jesse Hahn against the Tigers to win. It's actually just 1 bad inning for Green in the game that he pitched on Memorial Day. Fortunately, the A's scored the 4 runs in the 1 inning, but it was all Jesse Hahn that day. And it's not going to be that easy. This young man has a very good sinking fastball, and he's going to be around the plate.
Yoenis Cespedes in left, Anthony Gose in center, and Tyler Collins in right field today. Now Vogt, he's 0 for 7 in the series, had his 6th sacrifice fly last night in the Oakland 6-1 win. Left-hand batter takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
You think Shane Green's been looking forward to getting back to the mound after his last outing in Anaheim?
I think he's just trying to get some outs strung together.
Without a home run in between.
Steven batting .308, 11 homers, 39 driven in. He swings in a soft liner past Castellanos, set in front of Collins. And now it's a 2-out single for Vogt. His first in the series in 8 tries. And now the unlucky Billy Butler will stand in.
Vinny, you tell me how Stephen Vogt can drop that ball between the overshift and the right fielder, yet he placed it perfectly. I mean, it's amazing to watch with this overshift how guys can get hits and how they hit through the shift the way they do. I want to see the umpires overshift.
It's you choking down on your gap wedge.
Yeah, right.
And getting it just the right distance is what Stephen just did.
Yeah. What does that mean, to choke down on something?
Butler, a 5-game hitting streak. You look at the line score last night, and the box score said he was 1 for 5 with a double. Didn't even begin to tell the story. Takes a fastball, and it's over for a strike. It's 0-1.
You know, they talk about the ball not carrying the Coliseum at nighttime. How about any time at this park? I mean, if you want to crush a ball, do not try to go left center, right center.
Which is what he did twice last night unsuccessfully. 259 is average, 4 homers, 26 driven in. He swings and pulls one right into the Tiger third base dugout. Falls behind 0-2. Mike Gallego, the coach, at third, and Ty Waller at first, with the A's in the alternate green tops with the white A's logo on the left side of the chest, and the home whites with the old English D for the Tigers on this partly cloudy Thursday afternoon.
Painted a beautiful picture there, Vinny.
It's what we do on radio, Ray.
Yeah.
0-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss on the slider away, and Green gives up a 2-out single and nothing more. The A's strand Stephen Vogt at the end of a half. It's Oakland 0, and the Tigers are coming up. Jesse Hahn going to work for the A's. No score, bottom of the first inning from Comerica Park. Nice crowd on hand as Anthony Gose stands in. Then Jose Iglesias and Miguel Cabrera. Jesse 2-5 on the year, a 3.77 ERA, making his 11th start of the season. And he turns, and his first pitch of today's game is up and away, ball 1.
Well, maybe Brett Laurie at third can have 10 assists today. Had 9 on Tuesday night with the ground ball pitching of Kendall Graveman. He was busy, very busy.
Ghost, one of only 2 left-hand bats in the lineup today against the A's righty. Fastball from Jesse is upstairs, ball 2. He has Stephen Vogt at first, Ben Zobrist at second, Eric Sogard the shortstop, and Brett Laurie at third, with Josh Fegley behind the plate. Sam Fold in left, Billy Burns in center, Josh Reddick in right. Here's a 2-0. Swung on high, fly ball to left center. A lot of room out there, and Fold is calling for it. Sam will make the catch, and Gose is 0 for the Athletics in this series. He's 0 for 10. And that really helps when you think about who now steps in the on-deck circle. And Bob Melvin certainly understands that by keeping the 1 and 2 guys off the base paths, it makes it difficult for Cabrera to make an impact.
And what that has been this series, which is fortunate for the A's to keep the big man, especially when he does hit. Nobody on base.
Now Iglesias, he's just 1 for 8 in the series. 326 average with a home run at 7 driven in. No score, bottom of the first. Jesse off the first base side of the hill, turns and delivers. And the first pitch over the inside corner for strike 1.
Talk about playing pepper with the third baseman. Iglesias did that on Tuesday night. That's amazing.
4 times. Here comes the 0-1. Big curveball, that one taken low. 1-1 the count. Light breeze blowing in from left center at this spacious ballpark with some nooks and crannies out there. Jesse going for his 3rd win of the year. 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, and it is 1-2. 345 down the left field line, all the way out to 420 in dead center. 365 to right center, 330 down the right field line. They've got that 11-foot high wall for 100 feet in deep right center. 1-2 pitch, swung on and dribbled foul right past Cabrera in the Tigers' first base on deck circle. Stays at 1-2.
A lot of talk about the Tigers struggling offensively, but I think in this series, I think the A's pitching deserves more credit than the criticism of the Tigers not scoring a lot of runs.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on, foul back. Little breaking ball that time from Jesse. Stays ahead of Iglesias, who moved up to the 2 spot in these recent struggles for Brad Ausmus's club. Ian Kinsler was going to offer to Brad Ausmus to move down in the lineup, but Ausmus beat him to it by saying we need to make a change to make something happen. Here's a 1-2. Swung on and fouled again, right at the plate and right toward Cabrera.
The Tigers have scored 14 runs in their last 6 games, and they're sitting on a 6-game losing streak.
And you just don't think about those numbers when you mention some of the names in that starting lineup. They've got some injuries. Victor Martinez not with the club. He is working out back home in Orlando. Alex Avila continues to rehab his way back to the active roster. 1-2. Curveball popped up on the infield, and Jesse's going to call for it. Comes off the front slope of the mound and makes the catch. Wasn't hit that high in the air, and so not called off by either Vogt or Laurie or Fegley. And he'll have a big smile on his face as he makes the catch for out number 2. And here comes Cabrera again, just the way the A's like it. 2 outs and nobody on.
Yeah, the way Sonny Gray, I think twice this year, he has caught pop-ups. Kind of taking charge as Jesse Hahn did. At 6'5", even if the corner infielders had come in, he's still taller than them to say, I can handle it. And really showing that pitchers are athletic.
Cabrera with 401 lifetime homers. He takes off the plate outside, ball 1. A fastball from Hahn. No score, bottom of the first. Cabrera's reached in 22 consecutive games. He's batting .335. 11 homers, 35 driven in. And the 1-0 hit sharply towards short. Backhanded by Sogard down to a knee. Now up and over to first. Plenty on the throw and in time to get Cabrera. And Jesse Hahn has a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first inning. At the end of 1, Oakland and Detroit, no score. Purchase a group of 25 or more in the field level on select games, and everyone in your group receives an A's replica batting practice pullover. For more information on available games, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/jersey. Top of the second, no score, and Josh Reddick will start it off for the A's. Takes up and away from Green for ball 1. Reddick, then Brett Laurie and Eric Sogard. And they overshift on Reddick as well. Here's the 1-0. It's down low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Josh with his 8th long ball last night in the third inning against Anibal Sanchez.
Ball hit down the left field line, handled by Cespedes. Might have been his best hit. Cespedes saw a great jump to rob him.
Here comes the 2-0. It is a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-1. The A's in their 5 games against the Tigers have 14 extra base hits. The Tigers have 3. 2-1, hit hard toward right center. Gets down for a hit, and Gose has to go over and backhand it in the alley and play it back in. And Josh has his 3rd hit of the series in 8 tries, and Brett Lawrie will stand in now as Oakland gets their 2nd hit of the day.
And Josh Reddick right now in this season, and maybe it's the maturation, because what we saw in 12 when he hit a lot of home runs and then struggled a little bit 13, 14 because of injuries. But he is now basically hitting the ball where it's pitched. And that's a great sign for a hitter who has matured at this level. Instead, as he keeps saying, I'm not trying to hit home runs. When I hit them, they happen. But he's not trying. And that's a big difference, because you're pulling off pitches that way.
I don't want to jinx him, but he's had 1 strikeout in 11 games.
Yeah.
So he's had very good at-bats as well. Now Lawrie. And Green out of the stretch, starts him up and in, missed with a slider, ball 1.
And Vinny, by the way, he knows exactly what you said. He is astute of baseball knowledge. I mean, he knows everything that's going on. He watches replays, he watches the highlights, he watches and he knows the statistics. So he's aware of that, but he's playing as well as we've seen it.
Lawrie batting .277, 4 homers, 21 driven in. Has that open stance from the right side. Reddick will draw a throw back over to first. Gets back standing up.
So Reddick knows that he has more walks than strikeouts.
He knows everything.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's pretty sharp.
Were you aware of those things in your day?
No, we didn't even have statistics in my day.
We walked uphill both ways in the snow to play our games. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, fouled off to the right, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Lawrie. How about the double that Lawrie hit last night to dead center in the 8th inning? It wasn't quite out of here. But man, it's out of every place else in the league.
But the double I liked was the one he hit past Cabrera that he hustled. And if he's not running hard out of the box, he's out at second. And he knew exactly that. He's thinking too, and especially getting by Cabrera.
Leadoff single for Reddick, top of the 2nd, no score. And a 1-1 pitch due Lawrie. It's on the way. Swings at a slider, and he missed it. Up and away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sogard waiting on deck. Following the game, the A's on the charter to Beantown, and they'll land and they'll find the nearest place that has a TV to cheer on the Warriors. A lot of that conversation inside the A's clubhouse as the NBA Finals gets underway tonight. 1-2 pitch rolled on the right side. That is going to gently get through for a hit. Reddick turns at second, racing to third. Here comes a throw by Collins. It's off the body of Reddick, and it's right there at third base. And the A's are in business with runners at the corners and nobody out as Reddick takes the extra 90 feet, and now 2 on for Sogard.
Well, more and more you see the club doing exactly what Reddick did. He could have stopped at second. It was a strong throw, could have been out. Instead, he pushes the envelope a little bit and gets in safely. So first and third, the A's have a chance to get on the board.
Both Reddick and the baseball reaching the bag at the same time. Right on the bag was the throw by Collins, but so was Reddick.
It was a perfect throw. Yeah. But it hit Reddick and just dropped right at the bag.
Now Sogard with a chance to get the game's first run. Playing shortstop today, making his 3rd start at that position. .247 is average against the league with 11 RBIs. Left-hand batter is 0 for 7 in the series as Green stretches and delivers. And he misses low with a sinker, ball 1.
It's another example of the energy of Brett Lawrie at first base to the very calm Miguel Cabrera. And I said, what's that conversation like? He says, oh, he loves it when I'm down there. He says, he loves to hear me talk. Well, that's a one-way. It's all him talking.
Miguel saying, why don't you try to steal?
Yeah.
Here's the 1-0. A breaking ball over for a strike, and it's 1-1. Sogard, as always, the pant legs pulled up, shows a lot of the green sock with the gold circles around the calf.
That's the Jesse Hahn look also. He's wearing those. Billy Butler on occasion. There are a few guys who will wear them.
Outfield the other way on Sogard, playing him toward left. The right-hander's 1-1 pitch is a fastball inside. 2 balls and a strike. How tough is it for a pitcher there like Green? He's not looking to go inside for effect. He thinks he's going to steal a strike there, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, it's well. I think the key word that you said, effect, because pitchers who pitch inside for more than effect usually get in trouble. And of course, he has a two-seamer he likes to bring back. But if he doesn't get it, then he has to really go back outside as Holiday is setting up.
A turn and a throw back to first base. Laurie back over easily. He has 2 steals. Has not been caught this year. The A's very good in that category. 31 steals. They've only been caught 6 times.
You know what Brett Laurie did, hitting the ball to the opposite field. If you know the pitcher, and these guys do, Darren Bush, very good, and Adam Roden with all the video, they know the two-seamer works, and he wants them to roll over to get a double play ground ball. You go opposite field. That's your best approach.
The right-hander's 2-1. It is low, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Josh Phegley waiting on deck. The A's with some promise here in the second. Back-to-back singles by Reddick and Laurie have put A's at the corners in a scoreless top of the second. Shane Green trying to get his 5th win of the year. He started off the season on fire. 3 straight victories, pitching at least 7 innings in all 3 of those for Detroit, coming over from the Yankees in the offseason. 3-1 pitch, swung on, bounce right back to Green. Throws to second, he throws it in the dirt and throws it into center field. Everybody is safe. Reddick is home. It's 1-0 Oakland. A chance for the double play disappeared for Green. He can't believe the absolutely horrible throw he just made to second base. He had a chance to help himself, and he bounced it to Iglesias, and he could not dig it out.
And it's Brad Ausmus who's going to take the slow walk out to talk to him, not Jeff Jones, the pitching coach. And this is more about trying to settle him down because he made the right play. He got the ground ball, willing to give up a run. And actually, initially, Reddick didn't break from third base. He waited until the throw went to second, and it just happened to be a bad throw. It could have been a very easy 1-6-3 double play. But those are the breaks the A's are getting now, unlike what happened the first couple of months, and trying to take advantage again of a situation that really should have been back in the dugout, 2 outs and no RBI for Eric Sogard.
Well, Green charged with the error. Fielder's choice for Sogard and an RBI. His 12th of the year. And it's 1-0 Oakland. And Green now trying to gather himself. A little different scenario than the last game where you saw him get pummeled and he knew what the problems were. A lot of fastballs were hit out of the ballpark in Anaheim. And now here's Phegley. Still nobody out and 2 on in the second. Phegley, the right-hand batter, stands in, swings, and drives one in the gap in right center field. Between Collins and Ghost, it will get down. It is all the way to the wall. Laurie is home. Here comes Sogard. Phegley's trying for 3. The relay by Kinsler, not in time. The catcher slides in safely, and it is 3-0 Oakland. Phegley pounds one to right center, picks up a couple of RBIs, and the A's are off and running in Motown.
You know, Vinny, the amazing thing about Phegley, I mean, he's got some power, and to hear Stephen Vogt talk about how he can pummel left-handers, well, he just did it against a righty, and whenever he swings and makes contact, you watch a ball, you think, well, maybe it could be caught. All of a sudden, it just keeps going. That ball went very, very strongly towards right center and all the way to the wall. Could have been a stand-up triple for Phegley. Probably fell as he approached third base. That's a long run from home to third.
No surprise, the first major league triple for Phegley. As a strike is delivered to Sam Fold, and it's 0-1. 3-0 A's in the second. To be fair to Josh, at Charlotte last year, AAA in the White Sox system, he had 4 triples. And the 0-1 is high to Sam, left-hand batter with just a 191 average. Getting his first action in this series. He has 8 RBIs.
It's a big ballpark in Charlotte, Vinny.
That's right. Triples Alley.
I've never been there, but I'm just thinking.
Well, this is about as big as you can get.
Infield closing into the edge of the grass, trying to choke off the run. Phegley at third. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. A slider in under the hands of Fold. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Green makes the mistake, makes the poor throw. The manager comes out, delivers a message. A lot of things aren't running through his head. And Phegley's ready to ambush him on the first pitch, and it all kind of played into his hands.
And probably not the sinker he was wanting to throw first pitch instead of a 4-seam fastball for the triple.
The stretch, the 1-2. Swung on, popped up, and that's back in the seats just below us. And it stays a ball and 2 strikes on Fold. Still nobody out of the inning. And it's 3-0 Oakland.
Well, this is a big run to get. You just want to keep adding on. And coincidentally, it was a 4-run inning that helped the A's and Hahn defeat the Tigers on Memorial Day. And A's 1 run away from doing that. And here's a great opportunity for the A's to get it, especially for Sam Fold, who has been struggling.
Stays in the box, awaits the 1-2 pitch. And Green fires. Backdoor slider, got him looking on the corner. And Sam is down on strikes. Second K for Green. He needed a lift, and he got it. Backdoor slider, a little cutter that time from Green. And now Billy Burns. Billy 3 for 10 in the series. His play began today. He was a second among American League rookies in batting average, only to Joey Butler of Tampa Bay, but tied for the league lead for rookies with hits with 39, along with Steven Souza Jr., also of the Rays.
Here's a case where the infield there's a little bit more space between the infielders and the outfielders for a fly ball that he might hit.
And Green's first pitch is lined towards short. Nice backhand grab by the leaning Iglesias. Flags it down for out number 2. Billy tried to slap it the other way. Iglesias with a great reaction on the ball. And he records the second out. Now they go back to normal depth. And here comes Ben Zobrist with a runner at third base. Now 2 outs. Ben popped up to Cabrera in foul territory behind first base in the first inning. The set, the pitch. A backdoor breaking ball over for a strike. And with the runner at third base, Castellanos will stay at third base defensively. They do overshift again on Zobrist, but swing Iglesias to the other side of the infield. Now Kinsler in shallow right with Cabrera deep at first. Here's the 0-1. It is low with a sinker. 1-1 the count. A's got a gift on the error by Green, then the 2-run triple by Fegley, building the early advantage, trying for the sweep against the Tigers. 1-1 the count. And Green's pitch swung on line into right field, coming on Collins. He's there, almost overran it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. But the A's collect the 3 runs on 3 hits, an error on Green, and 1 man left. On to the bottom of the second. It's 3-0 Oakland. Major League triple extended the A's lead in the top of the inning. 3-0 Oakland. Josh now at 6 RBIs on the year. And Yoenis Cespedes will stand in, followed by Ian Kinsler and J.D. Martinez against Jesse Hahn, now pitching with the lead, which was something that Sonny Gray did an excellent job of last night. Now the former A's, Cespedes standing in. tied for the league lead in doubles with 17. He's batting .286, 7 homers, 28 driven in. And a fastball up and in at his front shoulder for ball 1.
Jesse pitched well with the lead. He had a 3-1 lead against the Yankees. Unearned run. Made it a 3-2. Then he gave up the 2-run home run.
The wind and the 1-0. Swung on, fouled off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. The A's are not afraid to attack Cespedes with fastballs. I don't feel like he's able to catch up and turn on the pitch in this big ballpark.
And plus, the balls he's hitting the right field, and he's hitting more, probably just because he's a little bit late on the fastball. It's tough for him to catch up, as we saw and have continued to see him swing.
The 1-1 swung on and fouled at the plate off the foot of Cespedes, who crumples in the batter's box down to the seat of his pants, and he'll use the bat to leverage himself back upright with the count of 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Iglesias did a couple of times. That's the hard sinker that Jesse evidently successfully throwing today, which is good, because beating the ball on the ground, that means there's going to be some ground balls. If Cabrera can do it, anybody can do it. Cabrera usually gets under the sinkers.
Jim Joyce happy to give Cespedes a little extra time. That is now the cleanest plate in the state of Michigan, as Jim took a little extra time for Cespedes to get back in the box. 3-0 Oakland here in the second. A 1 ball, 2 strike count on the Tiger left fielder. Jesse's delivery swung on and missed. High breaking ball away, and Cespedes has gone on strikes.
In the old Comiskey Park used to have kind of a button that the umpire could push. Never had to wipe the plate with a broom or a brush. It actually was it's like a compressor in the middle of the plate. So you'd push a button back behind home plate, and it cleaned the plate.
Who pushed the button?
The umpire.
From where?
From behind him. It was behind him. He just pushed that button and never had to clean the plate. But he'd wait till the catcher was close and do it. It scared me to death, man. You'd be going down there trying to get something, and all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden you hear this coming from home plate. But it was right in the middle of the old plate. Now
Ian Kinsler bats. He takes down and away ball 1.
Sounds like a Ron Luciano trick.
Well, actually, all the umpires did it, but Luciano was one of the best. Yeah, and then laugh.
Oh, of course.
And you're scared to death.
Kinsler batting .261, takes down for ball 2. 1 home run. Still incredible to say that. And 22 driven in for Kinsler, just 1 for 17 against the A's.
And the size of this park may be one of the reasons for just the 1 home run. That was on the road.
2-0. A fastball inside and low. He's behind 3-0 now on Kinsler, as Jesse pitches with a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second. Kinsler stays in the box. He's in the front of the box, and he takes ball 4. Delivery missing outside. And he becomes the first base runner, and the Comerica faithful that are here just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about. Jesse Hahn, when he had success against the Tigers on Memorial Day, just did a great job on using both sides of the plate. And I know, Ray, you talked to him after the game how excited he was to have that magic moment of his first ever Major League complete game. First ever complete game as a pro.
And that was Stephen Vogt behind the plate. Didn't check him off 1 time. So that's Stephen is at first base today because he caught the first 2 games.
And now J.D. Martinez. He's the DH today. To stretch the pitch, a sinker just off the inside corner, and that is ball 1. So now Josh Fegley's going to jog up the little dirt path between home and the mound. Have a quick conversation with Hahn. Now, interesting talking with Stephen Vogt today, and a little bit with Sonny today. And Bob Melvin touched on it in the manager show, what it's like for a pitcher early in the game, and for Sonny at his early development, his ability to recognize that one particular pitch wasn't working that well, and he made the adjustment midstream in the middle of the game. He's the ERA leader now in the majors. Sonny is at 1.65. 1-0 offer. It is over for a strike. Good sinker again from Hahn. It's 1-1.
Well, the old reliable, the sinker is always going to be the pitch, especially for Jesse Hahn. And Fegley, while he went out to talk to him after 5 consecutive off the plate, it's just to kind of break it up a little bit and go back to his bread and butter. And that's a sinker, trying to get a ground ball to get to quickly and get out of the inning.
A's are back looking to turn 2. Hahn at the belt. A long hold. Still waiting, and now delivers. And a fastball just low, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Kinsler has 6 steals. He has not been caught. The Tigers have been a little bit of a different club. They have been running a lot more, 45 steals, but they've been caught 21 times.
3 of them by Josh Phegley that Tuesday night at the Coliseum,
including Rajai Davis, who's been unavailable in the series. He's on paternity leave. Here comes the 2-1. Breaking ball popped up, foul ground near the A's dugout. Vogt and Phegley over, but it's behind the dugout in the second row, and it'll bounce further back in the crowd. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You just didn't think you'd have the Tigers 12th in the league in home runs, but first in the league in stolen bases.
Right, and the A's have actually out-homered them.
Yep. Overall, the Tigers 9th in the league in total runs scored.
For a team that's first in on-base percentage, some of the numbers just don't compute, but it goes to the struggles they've had recently, and they lost the opening game of the series 5-3, and then behind Gray, the A's won yesterday 6-1. A turn and a throw back to first, and Kinsler back to the bag with his right hand. Last night for the Tigers marked the 26th time in what is now 54 games that they've scored 2 runs or less. You just don't think about that with a slugging Tiger team that you're going to face. 2-2 pitch, swung on line the other way. It's going to drift into the seats. Count stays even on Martinez, who is looking for his first hit against the Athletics this year. And they were so excited about Martinez a year ago, the 23 home runs, expecting that growth the following year. Is just not that easy for young players that don't have that baseline yet to have an understanding of what can you expect year to year from a young player. 2-2 pitch, big leg kick at a curb. It's popped up, and that one will get back to the seats as Vogt gives a look, but it's past the tarp and in the crowd again, and it stays 2-2 on Martinez.
And then you talk about Martinez, what he did last year, kind of a great find for the Tigers, and getting Kinsler, expecting his offense to be what it was in Texas, and now you have 2 players that are struggling, and unexpectedly. And Kinsler, I mean, you get in a rut. Sometimes it's difficult to get out, especially if you've had success, and you do not know how to handle failure, and Kinsler's that point now, especially with a home run ball.
Another 2-2 has to wait. A throw back to first. A quick tag by Vogt. They almost got the fully extended Kinsler, but he's in safely with the right hand again.
One thing that Kinsler's extra lead is doing, it's forcing Jesse Hahn to use more of a slide step. It almost looks like Kinsler's thinking about running, but if nothing else, he's changing the delivery from Hahn, and sometimes slide step is not as successful for pitcher.
Outfield a step the other way. Another throw to first in the dirt, dug out by Vogt. The other thing, too, Victor Martinez has hit over 300 each of the last 4 years. He had 335 last year. This is like the sun coming up in Detroit that they were counting on production from Victor, and he had the knee problems. Had a slow start this year on the DL with a 216 average. 2-2, swung on, bounced to third, a foul ball past the coach Dave Clark, and Omar the Magnificent, Omar Vizquel, over at first base.
Tigers, Vinny, second in the league in runs scored last year. Only the Angels scored more. So it's just very strange to see this team struggling offensively.
But that's the fortune for the A's right now, that they're contending with a Tiger team that just is not playing their best baseball. The stretch, the pitch, breaking ball ripped toward the gap in left center. Full going back toward the alley, goes down and makes the catch on a knuckling drive and hangs on for the out. Martinez hit it right on the screws, and that ball had some funny action on it. Sam Fuld, even in part-time duty, is an excellent defender. That really bailed out Jesse Hahn on that well-hit ball by the DH.
And what do you think J.D. Martinez is thinking? He crushed the ball last night to center field that went nowhere. About as hard as you could hit a ball. It's caught. And then he crushes one there after a very good at-bat.
He's getting a text from Billy Butler is what he's getting.
I know. Well, yeah, it's the old hang with him. Yeah, no. Listen, that's what's great about the game, because you hit the ball hard or you get jammed. It's just a tough thing to do, and that's to hit a baseball.
3-0 A's in the second. Here comes Tyler Collins, and a fastball over the inside corner for a strike. But what about Sam Fuld? Part-time play And his defense just doesn't rest, and you could just tell the way he went after that baseball that it didn't have the natural flight.
Yeah.
And he kind of broke back, then came back across and stayed with it to make the catch. Here's the 0-1. A curve rolled up the first baseline, a foul ball, and Omar makes the play. Nicely done.
Benny, I think that's why Bob Melvin feels very confident when he puts Sam Fuld in the lineup. And while he might not, as the case, have a runner at third, less than 2 out, doesn't get him in, he knows he's going to play outstanding defense. And, you know, Jesse Hahn, maybe if he's on, he's going to get more ground ball outs than fly ball outs. But he also knows he can give somebody a day off, and Sam Fuld is going to play defense without any hesitation.
0-2 on Collins. Part-time player coming up from the minor leagues. Takes down and away on a changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 29 at bats for Collins. He's 7 for 29. So Jesse trying to get this shut down bottom of the second after the A's put a 3 spot up on the board in the top of the inning. The 1-2 is on the way. Swung on, rolled over on the right side. Backhanded by Vogt. Underhand toss to Hahn. He beats Collins to the bag. And the inning is over. So Jesse does get that shutdown frame. Leaves a man aboard. And we're through 2 with the A's in front 3-0. Warehouse will donate $100 to Year Up. Right now, find great deals on designer brands including Joseph Abboud, Calvin Klein, and Kenneth Cole. To find a store or shop online, visit menswarehouse.com. 3-0 A's. On to the third. Here's Glenn.
First pitch to Stephen Vogt is just a bit outside for ball 1. Vogt, Butler, and Reddick against the lanky right-hander Shane Green. A's with all 3 of their runs in the second inning. Shift is on for Vogt, who had a single in the first inning. Breaking ball down and in, and the count is 2-0. Interesting development. Yoenis Cespedes has left the game. Daniel Fields, who's making his major league debut, a Detroit native, is in the game in left field, and Cespedes is out. 2-0 pitch, fastball inside, 3-0 now to Vogt. So when we hear why Cespedes has left the game, we will certainly pass it on. So the cleanup hitter for the Tigers is out, and a rookie is in. 3-0 pitch, missed inside, and a 4-pitch walk to Stephen Vogt.
And I think when we saw the swing on the 2-strike pitch as Cespedes displayed, not surprising that he was going to be out. Probably one of the balls fouled off his foot as he hammered the ball pretty hard. When he went down, that's an indication it kind of hurt.
So Vogt aboard, and here's Butler. Butler struck out swinging to end the first inning.
Cap, I know last night when we saw the 3-2 pitch that Marvin Hudson called out Stephen Vogt last night, and I said to Vogt, I said, how was that to go back behind the plate? And he said he was apologizing profusely several times.
First pitch to Butler is rolled back behind the screen. I was looking in the binoculars at that confrontation, or well, not a confrontation, and I saw the umpire say something to Stephen Vogt, and he said it a couple times, and that must have been what he was saying.
Yeah, because it was obvious. I mean, he knew, and it was one of those that he just said, hey, it's a strike. I mean, it was a ball. I blew it, and he definitely apologized to Stephen Vogt. Not much you can do after that.
A 1 pitch to Butler is a fastball bit high, and it's 1-1. Vogt with a leadoff walk here in the top of the third.
You know, Cap, you appreciate umpires like that because they're human. They do make mistakes. They're graded on their ball strike calls. And when something like that happens, all you can simply say, hey, I blew it. I missed it. And at that point, it's over.
Green long look, and the pitch to Butler is line foul down the left field line. So the count now 1-2, and I think what it does is it ends any situation.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So the hitter is now saying, okay, you know what? All right, I get it. You missed it. Thanks for apologizing. Right. And the umpire says, hey, I feel better. I apologize. And it's over with.
That's right.
Nobody's going to hold any grudges.
And the biggest key is they are human. They're going to make mistakes. I mean, there are 4 guys on the field that, unless their pass list is there, they don't have anybody rooting for them.
They do not.
You got home and visiting, but no umpires.
1-2 pitch is belted toward the gap in left center field. Fields is not going to get it. Vogt is digging for third. Gallego taking a look, and they're going to wave him home. And Stephen Vogt will score, and Butler to second with an RBI double, and the A's lead 4-0. That ball was smoked by Butler to the gap in deep left center field.
And that might be right there the difference of Billy Butler at second with a double instead of Cespedes tracking it down. Cespedes, as he showed last night, tremendous first step, and Fields really did not handle that particularly well and helped Butler get the double and Vogt to score from first.
So Butler gets his 27th RBI, and it's now 4-0, the A's lead. And watching Mike Gallego, he did a nice job. He waited as long as he could, and then when he saw the bobble out in left field, he kept waving Vogt home, and that helped Vogt score. So here's Reddick. First pitch to Reddick is a sinker down and away, 1-0.
Captures already bullpen activity for the Tigers. A lefty warming up. Can't see exactly who it is, but it is busy.
So the A's with 2 singles, a double, a triple already in this game, and it's 4-0. Blaine Hardy starts to throw, the left-hander. And Reddick hits it hard, but right to the shortstop who's on the shift. And now they're going to get Butler, who was trying to go from second to third in a rundown, and he gets tagged out. So the ball was hit to the right side, and Butler thought he could make it to third, but Iglesias was playing just to the right of second base. He fielded it, and he threw it to third, and they got Butler.
And that, unlike what happened Tuesday night with Kinsler, that's a good play by Iglesias. He immediately saw Butler taking off, knowing that Butler is not that fleet of foot, and got him easily. And that's a big play, taking a runner out of scoring position.
Yeah, but once Josh Reddick steals the base now and gets the second, the A's will gladly take the trade and have his speed instead of Butler's out there.
That's a great point.
So 1 out. Reddick will be aboard on the fielder's choice. A run in, and here's Laurie. And Laurie takes a fastball for a strike from Shane Green. So Iglesias, very smooth at short. Once he fielded that ball, he just kind of turned and just flipped it to third, and Castellanos had plenty of time to tag Butler.
And that confusion might have come with the shift, the overshift, and Iglesias playing where he was. It could have been a base hit by Reddick.
Laurie chases a slider down and away, so it's a quick 0-2. So Butler with an RBI double that scored Stephen Vogt here in the top of the third, and the A's leading 4-0. Straight up defense for Laurie. And that one just missed outside. 92 miles an hour from Shane Green with a fastball. So A's now with 5 hits in the game already against Green.
And no pitcher likes to look in the bullpen in the third inning, see somebody warming up.
Manager doesn't like to look down there.
No, exactly. And Green can only blame himself. He could have had just 1 run on the board, maybe 2, but definitely not 4.
1-2 to Laurie. Fastball inside. Laurie skips out of the way. So 2-2 the count. 48 pitches for Shane Green so far.
It also explains the urgency to try to win a game right now for the Tigers.
True.
Stretch And the 2-2 pitch is fouled to the screen.
Jim Price, who does the manager show with Brad Ausmus, said that man's very dejected. And Jimmy's trying to tell him, he says, you know, these are things that happen to a ball club. And he said, realize the Tigers have been spoiled. They've won the division for 4 consecutive years. Sure. So they are accustomed to winning, not having adversity where things are not going their way all the time. And for Ausmus last year to step in with no managerial experience and have the success the Tigers did, I mean, he's as spoiled as anybody.
Quick throw to first, and diving back is Reddick. 90 wins last year for the Tigers. But I looked at where they were last year. In the middle of June last year, they were 4 games over 500. Right now, they're 2 games over 500. Right. And probably playing a lot more short now than they were last year at this time. 2-2. 1 out here in the top of the third, a run in. A's leading 4-0. The pitch to Laurie is hit high and foul. Just to our right into the upper deck.
Dave Dombrowski, who's the president, and you see him traveling with the club all the time. And he indicated that Victor Martinez, while he is not with the club, he is starting to swing the bat a little bit. That has to be encouraging. And Alex Avila yesterday, his dad, who is sitting with Al Kaline, talking about how he started some baseball activities while the A's have been here. So they're getting closer, but like you said, by the time they get back, it could be like acquisitions, because those are 2 main players for the Tigers.
Laurie, a line drive toward first. Cabrera grabs it, and he steps on the bag, and that's a double play, and that's how the inning ends.
Look at Laurie staring at Cabrera.
So Cabrera, who was holding the runner, he grabbed it in the air, and he was literally standing right on the bag, and that's a double play. Bottom of the third, it's Nick Castellanos to lead it off. A's leading 4-0. And Jesse Hahn, first pitch to Castellanos is a bit high and a bit inside, 1-0.
I don't think right now at this point Jesse Hahn is really comfortable in throwing a sinker. Everything seems to be elevated. Something's unusual for him.
And there's a line drive, center field, a base hit, and that pitch was up. Up and out over the plate. Castellanos with a line single to center to lead off the bottom of the third. Let's step aside for station identification. You're listening to the Oakland A's radio network. So Castellanos with the first hit of the day for the Tigers. And here's Brian Holiday, the catcher, who's hitting in the 9th spot. 1 walk, 1 strikeout so far for Jesse Hahn in 34 pitches. Castellanos short lead at first. The pitch to Holiday is a fastball for a strike.
You know, there are times that a catcher with a sinker ball pitcher, you try to give a low target, but sometimes you have to go even lower and almost put the ball or the glove on the ground to try to get the pitcher to get the ball down. And Jesse Hahn talks about a 6'5" frame, how he tries to use the leverage to get on top and get down through the strike zone.
In the dirt, blocked by Fegley, and the count even now at 1-1. A's with 3 in the second, 1 in the third for their 4-0 lead. Outfield shifted just slightly toward left center, not a lot. Infield straight up looking for a ground ball from Jesse Hahn. Anthony Goes, the leadoff man, will be next. In there for a strike, so the count 1-2. Off speed pitch from Hahn, and a good one. Tigers with just 13 total hits in this series with that Castellano base hit, and just a couple of extra base hits in the series. 1-2. Hahn delivers, and the ball is bounced slowly up the third base line, and it is a foul ball. Laurie picks it up, flips it to first, but Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire, early on called it a foul ball. So the count remains 1-2 to Brian Holiday.
You think that throw to first was after Laurie found out it was a foul ball?
You mean the 7-hopper? I hope it was.
At that point, he said, it's a foul ball. I'll just roll it across.
He has a stronger arm than that. We've seen that.
Yeah, well, he actually rolled the ball on the ground to Omar Vizquel the Tuesday night so Vizquel could give it to a fan. That was strange, but a lot of things are strange.
1-2 pitch to Brian Holiday is way outside. Fegley backhands it, so count is even 2-2 with Castellano at first. He had the leadoff single. Biggest crowd of the series is today. 28,000 on Tuesday, 30,000 last night, but it's going to be bigger than that today. Just about a sellout. In the dirt, blocked by Fegley. He was able to knock it down. The ball actually rolled out in front of home plate after he knocked it down, but a nice save by Fegley. He blocks the ball pretty well, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's down low, and actually he talked about his size being an attribute to his success behind the plate. Of course, throwing the ball, very strong arm, but being close to the ground, be able to block balls like that. And there's sometimes you have to backhand a ball. He actually moved his body in front of it and kind of sent it out in front to keep it. And the Tigers know he can throw, so they're not going to take too many chances, even with the ball in the dirt.
Yeah, that ball was way outside and in the dirt. Very nice play by Fegley. So full count. See if Castellanos is running at first base. Right-handed hitting Brian Holiday. Straight up stance. Long look by Hahn. Runner goes, and the ball's rolled foul up the third base line. Trickles toward the Tigers dugout, picked up by Miguel Cabrera, who's sitting in one of the walkways.
This has to be more of a sinker ball pitcher trying to stay out of a possible double play than a stolen base by Castellanos, because again, the Tigers know that Fegley can throw, and if you're a middle infielder, whoever's covering the bag, you can't hesitate and try to hold your position. Fegley, because he's so quick from behind the plate, but Osmus depending on Holiday to make contact.
Castellanos runs again, and the pitch is belted towards center field, but right at Burns. Burns is under it. He's got it, and that's the first out. Castellanos retreats back to first base. So Hahn wins the long battle with Brian Holiday, and now the Tigers will send up their leadoff man, Anthony Goes. Goes at a fly ball to left field in the first inning. So I would say, in honor of Vinny, Vinny's been pretty sharp today. As the Tigers go, Anthony Goes.
Oh, gosh.
Go. No, Vinny.
I didn't write that one down.
What else have you written down? Have you written down that Tommy Lasorda's sitting over with a Hall of Famer Al Kaline? A couple Hall of Famers there.
He is.
And there's no food in front of Tommy, so that is strange. They've already eaten, I guess, because Mr. Avila, Alex's dad, is sitting there talking. And
good baseball conversation in that booth. Here's
pasta.
Anthony Goes.
Pasta.
A lot of pasta. That's right.
Vinny knows about that.
Goes is 0 for 10 in the series. And that's been part of the struggles for the Tigers in this series. They really have not got a whole lot from the top of their order. So Castellanos, the runner at first, goes a left-handed hitter. Lots of speed. His average sitting at 295 with his fly ball today. First pitch, and he swings and misses at a good changeup. Kept it down and away to Goes, and he missed it.
If Dave Clark was wearing a Fitbit, he'd have about 25,000 steps.
I know. I was thinking that same thing.
The first night when there was some activity, he was almost standing behind home plate trying to get an angle for his runners. Of course, very quiet last night, but he goes a little too far for my taste.
I agree.
0-1 pitch is a little bit low with a breaking ball again, so the count 1-1.
Well, you know, he gets verbal signs from Brad Ausmus. He does not even have to get the hand signs. He looked in and peeked in to see what Ausmus was going to have him do.
Brad must be whispering from to come so close.
Now you got me looking at Clark.
Hey, between he and Laurie,
that's what I mean.
That's a lot of movement on the corner.
1-1. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Staying off speed is Hahn. And it's 1-2.
You know, Goes is similar to Billy Burns as far as the aggressiveness as a leadoff hitter. And the first pitch changeup in this at bat was outstanding because you have a hitter who is up there trying to ambush and trying to see as many fastballs as possible. He did it in Oakland. Matter of fact, the game that the A's lost, the unearned run 1-0. It was a first pitch hit and stole second, E2, sac fly, game over, 1-0. That was it.
So 1-2 the count. Hahn kicks and the delivery is hit foul down the third baseline between Clark and Laurie. Brett Laurie helps the umpire out. He points that it was foul, so I'm sure that Marvin Hudson, the third base umpire, appreciates the effort from third baseman / umpire Brett Laurie.
Brett probably shook his hand, said hello to him before the game started. He's a very personable young man.
A's leading 4-0, bottom of the third. Another 1-2 pitch to Goes is hit hard towards second. It's scooped up by Zobrist. Out at second, on to first. Double play. So Zobrist to Sogard to Vogt. And Anthony Goes hits into the 4-6-3 double play. And the Tigers do not score. Fourth inning coming up from Comerica Park. It's the A's 4 and the Tigers. The Tigers nothing. A's looking for the 3-game sweep and a little momentum heading to Boston. Eric Sogard to lead it off for the A's. First pitch to Sogard from Shane Green is a bit high. Green has had base runners in each and every inning. He has not been sharp. Fegley with the 2-run triple in the second inning. Green with a costly error. Pitch is grounded up the middle into center field, a base hit right past the shortstop Jose Iglesias. So Sogard with the leadoff single. And for the 3rd inning in a row, the A's have their leadoff man on against Shane Green. So hit number 6 for the Athletics, and Fegley steps in. Josh Fegley's triple in the second inning that knocked in a pair was to deep right center field.
He finally caught his breath.
He did.
8 batters later. That's a long run. I always say home to third is a long run.
First pitch to Fegley is a fastball inside, 1-0. So the crowd again today, as we have noticed the first 2 games of the series, very quiet.
Yeah.
And they have not had a whole lot to cheer for. More action again in that Tigers bullpen as Blaine Hardy is up for the 2nd time. Slider down and away, 2-0.
I've had a chance as we walk into our booth, the press box area, to look down on the concourse and see the young kids and the fans. And you think back to the times when you went to a ball game and you got to walk around and so excited to watch a Major League Baseball game and stand back, get a souvenir, and then watch the game. It's a lot of excitement. Even the team might not be playing well.
There's a strike on 2-0. Fegley took it down around the knees.
Well, there's always a chance you can catch the opposing team's grand slam, as the kid with the glove did a couple nights ago.
He's a star, isn't he now?
And then cry.
Yep.
But he didn't throw the ball back. That's the important thing. I mean, yes, he cried, and yes, it was a visiting grand slam, but he kept the baseball.
2-1 pitch to Fegley is in the dirt, past the catcher to the backstop, and Sogard will trot down to second base. So the A's now have a runner in scoring position, and Fegley with a 3-1 count.
This might be his last batter.
Yeah.
I'm sensing that maybe Brad Ausmus is going to try to find a way to change the karma a little bit. Just not seeing what he would like to see from Shane Green today, as much as he would want to give him an opportunity to rebuild the confidence from those first 3 starts of the year.
And Green, as we said, coming off a start where he got 5 outs and allowed 5 home runs in a game against the Angels. So hoping to bounce back from that, but he has not. 3-1 pitch to Fegley is hit to the right side. Cabrera backhands. He throws to third, and they get Sogard. Very nice play by Miguel Cabrera. The ball was hit fairly hard, but Cabrera, the first baseman, backhanded it. And I think he looked up and he said, I got to play on Sogard. And he threw it to third, and Castellano put the tag on.
That might be the first time I've ever seen 2 putouts at third base on ground balls to the right side when the runner at second thought he could advance. And especially that one, because that was the first base. The one Iglesias had more up the middle and a slower base runner. But a lot of times, a runner at second base has to be aware of a hard hit ball to the right side. It's not an automatic that if the ball is hit to the right side, you're going to go to third. Sogard was busting it, but that was a perfect play by Cabrera.
So 1 out. Fegley now the runner at first, and here's Sam Fuld. First pitch to Fuld, a little bit outside with a fastball.
And he did start as a third baseman, so he has a decent arm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's heads up. And really, you look at Shane Green, what could have been in this game. He could have had 2 more runs, possibly scoring, without some pretty good defensive plays.
Sam Fuld struck out looking in the second inning. The 1-0 pitch to Sam is up and away, and now it's 2-0. Outfield shifted well toward left center.
It's the beauty of the game of baseball. Come to the park, you may see something you've never seen before, and that is rare. I mean, just to see that happen.
Nothing A's lead, top of the 4th. The pitch is bounced towards short. Iglesias has it out at second. The double play is turned, and that will do it for the A's in the top of the 4th. 6-4-3 double play. Sam Fuld hits into it, and the A's do not score. Bottom of the 4th coming up from Detroit. A's 4, Tigers nothing. Comerica Park in downtown Detroit is where we are at. The A's with a 4-0 lead at bottom of the fourth inning. And the Tigers will send Iglesias, Cabrera, and then Daniel Fields. Daniel Fields in the game for Cespedes. That is the three hitters scheduled here in the fourth inning. So Jesse Hahn so far has allowed just one hit. He's walked one, he has struck out one, and he's thrown 47 pitches through the first three innings. First pitch to the shortstop Iglesias is on the inside corner with a fastball for a strike. Iglesias hit a little pop-up that Jesse Hahn caught in the first inning. And he is 1 for 9 in the series. Bunts it toward third, picked up by Hahn off the mound. He throws to first in time to get Iglesias, and a nice play by Jesse Hahn.
Yeah, Kai, from the recent homestand, it's one thing about the A's and Bob Melvin and Mike Gallego. They do the PFPs. Kurt Young had the pitchers out, and they were working on that during the last homestand, and they try to do it because it's so much work during spring training, the pitcher fundamental practice, and then they don't do it during the season. But the A's do it, and it paid off there. Hahn made that look easy.
So one out for Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera grounded out to short to end the first inning. And the first pitch is a little bit outside with a fastball. Well, today there was no batting practice for either team, but the A's came out and took a full infield practice.
Exactly.
Which was kind of fun to see. Yeah. Always fun to watch.
That's right.
1-0 pitch, again outside, 2-0 to Cabrera.
Remember in 2011 when Bob Melvin took over, he said, if we're not going to hit, I want you on the field. And it started, and that was so unusual to see a team taking infield practice, and they did it at Comiskey Park, and it was fun to see. That is a missing part of the game.
Cabrera fouls it straight back, just got a piece of it, 2-1.
And in the absence of teams not taking batting practice, for the fans that are in the ballpark, at least give them something to see. You know, the Twins with Tom Kelly would do it all the time.
Absolutely. And really, I think Bob's philosophy is that get the blood circulating. If you leave the dugout, go to the field to play a game, it may take you a couple of innings. That first at bat is important.
2-1 pitch to Cabrera is hit to the right side, off the hands, picked up by Vogt, flips to Hahn, and that's the second out. So a good pitch by Hahn. He really jammed Miguel Cabrera, and that's about as weak of a ball as you'll see Miguel Cabrera hit. It was just a kind of a little dribbler toward Vogt, who just picked it up.
Do you think Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are just going to show up and they announce them and blow off the buzzer and away they go without taking a few shots?
I know.
But I mean, I could think of, as a kid, one of the treats was if you went to a game, and for me it was County Stadium, they would take infield practice 25 minutes before first pitch.
It was part
and it was great. It was fun to watch, and I think that players kind of enjoyed putting on a little show for everybody.
And the kids wanted to emulate the players that they were watching.
No question.
Well, look at the Gas House game going way back. I mean, that was a fun thing to watch.
This is Daniel Fields, who's stepping in a big league batter's box for the first time. Daniel Fields in the game for Cespedes. So this is a major league debut as far as hitting for Fields. He's been out in left field for an inning now. Big, strong, left-handed hitter. And Fields takes a strike, and he fouled the first pitch back. So the count is a quick 0-2 to Fields.
And you think about Cespedes coming out of the game. Fields probably, with Rajai Davis coming back scheduled tomorrow, he might not have gotten into a game.
0-2 pitch, takes low, 1-2. He's from Detroit, so it's actually a big deal. He had a whole bunch of family and friends here on Tuesday night, and there's a bunch of them here today as well watching this young man. Homegrown product. Fouls this one back left side.
Well, Frank Tanana was from Detroit, and he's the only other player supposedly who's actually from Detroit, although Kirk Gibson was from a neighboring town. But as far as the actual Detroit, it's Frank Tanana and this young man Fields at the two. So it's, and Bob Melvin caught Frank Tanana.
The pitch is a fastball on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Good pitch by Jesse Hahn. He gets his second strikeout, and he has a 3-up, 3-down, 4th inning. So we're headed to the 5th in Detroit. It's the A's with a 4-0 lead over the Tigers. Well, the second fireworks night of the season is set for Friday, June 19th after the A's-Angels 6:35 contest. Fans can watch the post-game fireworks show from the outfield grass, but as always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today, athletics.com/fireworks. Top of the fifth, here's Vince.
And the A's in front 4-0. A first pitch changeup from Shane Green, still pitching out there. He's had traffic every inning, and he offers a strike to Billy Burns. Billy 0 for 2 today. He has seen 3 pitches so far now.
That's a lot.
Here's the 0-1. He takes off the plate outside.
I didn't know if Kipe was going to finish with that promo.
No chance.
Before Billy Burns stepped in, and here's the pitch.
So I picked the wrong guy to take the promo right up to the pitch.
Castellanos up close at third. A swing and a high fly foul down the right side. Burns out in front and yanks it down the right side. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll be followed by Zobrist and Vogt. Baltimore with an early run against the Astros today. That is indoors at Minute Maid Park. 1-2 offer, breaking ball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wei and Chen against Dallas Keuchel in that matchup. And the Astros announced today that they will remove Towles Hill and bring in the fence and center for 2016. They have made it official. 2-2 lined over third. A base hit for Burns. The hits just keep on coming for the youngster. His 40th of the year in his 30th game as he slashes one the other way.
Now that's the definition. That's perfect slash. I mean, just watching him play and the speed that he has, and the more he believes that speed doesn't go in a slump, he'll realize that he's going to be a great player just because of that approach.
And he really hasn't fallen into the trap of hitting a lot of fly balls, trying to lift the ball. He's staying through the baseball, hitting line drives.
Yeah, the 2 home runs he hit were mistakes. The fastball and the breaking ball from CC. But aggressive in the first pitch.
Brian Holiday, the catcher, going out, and Billy Burns talking with Miguel Cabrera. Said, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. When you're at the plate like me, I try to swing early. What do you think about that, Miggy? Miggy's going, huh?
What's your name?
Let me show you all the hardware I've got in my locker.
That's right. And by the way, my contract, I don't care about these fences.
The set by the right-hander. Green turns and goes back to first. And then Billy says, by the way, I'm not going to be with you very long. I've got 9 steals and 11 tries. I might be on the move here.
Gotta go.
Shortstop Iglesias shading up the middle. Quite the full overshift now with the man aboard. Zobrist is 0 for 2 today. 1 for 9 of the series, but it was a big one with the grand slam on Tuesday night. Another move back to first base. Burns is over safely.
Thinking about the fences, if the Tigers or if Juan Gonzalez had accepted the contract, would Miguel Cabrera be here?
No question. 8 years, $160 million after he was acquired from the Texas Rangers. Green with a 66th pitch. It's a strike on the outside corner as the A's have gotten the leadoff man on in 4 consecutive innings. Zobrist hit the grand slam on Tuesday night against the rookie Angel Nesbitt. And that turned the game quickly around for the A's after Alfredo Simon was taken out of the contest. And Nesbitt, 2 pitches into his work, saw the lead disappear. The 1-strike offer. And the runner goes. Pitches a strike. The throw to second is high. Head first slide. And Burns is in safely with his 10th stolen base of the year.
Well, you hear the call from Jim Joyce, but Ben Zobrist taking the pitch. And there's a couple of thoughts with first and runner at first base, a huge gap on the right side, but with the stolen base, now Ben has a chance to hit the ball to the right side and maybe advance Burns to third. I say maybe because 2 have already been thrown out today.
They do fully overshift now on Zobrist, 3 on the right side. 0-2 in the dirt, blocked in front by Holiday. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, we've talked about this in the past when Coco was a guy when he was really active on the base pass a couple of years ago. And Jed Lowry would bat second for the A's. But he wouldn't take very many pitches, and that's why Josh Donaldson at that time was moved up in the lineup by Bob Melvin, because Josh was not worried about going deep in the count. 1-2 offer. Swung on, hit hard down the right field line. It is a foul ball. A liner off the bat of Zobrist, making a bid for his 15th run batted in. Instead, the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
I was talking to Ben after the game last night, and he walked a couple of times and said something. He says, well, sometimes you have to get your walks. You have to watch pitches. And he's a professional player. He knows situations, and he knows right now trying to hit the ball to the right side. He even taking a second strike, knowing it's a little bit more difficult that way.
The 1-2 from Green. Swung on, pulled on the ground, foul just past first base. Man, it looked like it was almost right over the bag, but Greg Gibson made the call emphatically and quickly behind the bag at first base, denying Zobrist yet again. And you go back to that grand slam scenario, all the small things that led up to that spot where the A's had this kind of bat up in that situation.
That's right.
Having that veteran that the A's haven't had a lot of in some of those circumstances. And he certainly delivered in a big way with his 6th career grand slam. 1-2, backdoor with the cutter. It's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A's leading 4-0 in the 5th inning. Greg Gibson making that call at first base on the hot smash off the bat of Zobrist.
That may be a hard play for an umpire because it was hit so hard. All he has to do is cross any part of the bag, but evidently did not.
2-2. Swung on, popped up behind third base. Castellanos backpedaling in the shallow left, makes a one-handed catch. Zobrist tried on many occasions in that battle with Green to turn on it and get it to the right side. He couldn't get it done. And now Stephen Vogt will stand in.
And you have to wonder, too, and especially when the hitter gets 2 strikes and you have the entire left side of the infield open with the overshift, if maybe that off speed, he was trying to punch it into left field. And sure, you're not pulling the right side, but you're also getting him over and getting yourself at first base.
Well, it's something that Stephen Vogt said he has been very conscious of doing with 2 strikes. And he had 3, as we call them now, shift hits on the left side. They're not going to let him bat here. They're going to give him an intentional walk. And for Stephen, his 3rd intentional walk of the year sets up the potential double play with Billy Butler in the on-deck circle. So the walk allowed by Green is the 2nd free pass he has surrendered today. Now Butler really tagged the ball his last time up in the 3rd with the double to left center that brought home Vogt from first base.
It's amazing for Stephen Vogt and what he's been through. Almost completely out of baseball. And here he's been intentionally walked. I mean, having a fantastic season.
The A's number 3 hitter.
Exactly.
And certainly believe that he's on his way to Cincinnati. His left-hander Blaine Hardy is up for the 3rd time of the bullpen. Usually when the guy's up the 3rd time, he's coming to the game or he's done for the day.
Well, that's called your responsibilities before the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And then after that, forget it, you're done. But you're right. I mean, that's a lot of times to be up and not come in. And maybe, like you said earlier, with full, maybe one more at bat is Reddick in the on-deck circle. Another lefty.
So here's Butler with 2 on and 1 out. A's up by 4. And the first delivery in there for a strike. It's 0-1. And I think fans, as much as they appreciate Stephen Vogt, they would appreciate him even more when they see what he goes through.
Yeah.
What he puts inside his spikes with that metal shoe, little mini sleeve he puts at the bottom of his shoe to give him support recovering still from that foot surgery of a year ago. The 0-1, breaking ball outside, and Stephen was almost caught a little too far off the bag and scampered back safely.
Yeah, he limps more often than not through the clubhouse. Sure. He's just banged up.
Well, it's because of 10 pounds of ice.
That's true. It's tough to walk without a limp with all that ice.
But he puts that steel piece in the bottom of his spike. It reduces some of the mobility for him behind the plate, but you wouldn't notice it.
Well, that's why he's up higher, because he can't get down lower, which what a catcher normally will do, but that prohibits him from getting up on the balls of his feet. I mean, just put a steel plate in your shoe and see how much you can be mobile.
Here's the 1-1. Fastball popped up behind first, and that will twist back over the A's dugout and into the seats. And it stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody likes foot pain.
No.
And, it's like breathing. It only hurts when I breathe. Well, for Steve, it only hurts when I walk,
But, this is kind of reminiscent of what the Twins did with Joe Mauer. They'd catch him, and then day game after night game put him at first base, and then, of course, moved him to first with the concussion problems. But for Stephen Vogt, they want his bat in the lineup. And I think this is great that he can play first and be versatile enough to be able to play a very good first base.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball stays inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it gives Josh Phegley a little more familiarity because tomorrow the A's at Fenway are going to face a left-hander in Wade Miley.
Yeah.
Scott Kazmir back in the rotation after being reshuffled in the deck, giving him a few extra days. And that'll be a 4:05 first pitch on the network. 7:05 local time from Fenway. Fastball line toward left, a base hit. Burns to third is being waved home. Fields overruns the baseball. It's past him. Now Vogt will come around third, and he will score. A single and RBI for Butler. He's the second, and E7. And Bruce Fields' forgettable Major League debut. The A's tack on 2 more and lead it 6-0.
E7.
Man.
RBI.
If Bruce Fields could somehow, some way crawl under the grass at Comerica, he would do it. You really feel for him, given what was supposed to be an unbelievable chance to play, and he just simply overran the baseball and got by him. So Butler, a second RBI today, 28 on the year. Vogt and Burns are home. Green is done, and left-hander Blaine Hardy comes on in relief. So a break in the action with the pitching change at Comerica. A's in front 6-0, and we'll be back after this. A's leading it now 6-0 thanks to the misplay by Bruce Fields, trying to make a play that wasn't there. And now left-hander Blaine Hardy comes on in relief. 38 games last year for the Tigers. 2.54 ERA, left on left against Reddick. And deals a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. 2 errors today for the Tigers. And Shane Green going after 4 1/3. Another breaking ball on Reddick. That one drops in. He's behind 0-2.
I give Bob Melvin, just watching Brad Ausmus, who's second year managing, at least when the A's were struggling, whether it be pitching and defense.
0-2 pitch, low and outside, another off-speed pitch.
When Bob Melvin went to the mound to take out a pitcher, he had a brisk walk or sometimes ran out. You watch Brad Ausmus, it's like the world's come to an end. I mean, a very slow walk, and he's feeling something now that really has never experienced before. But Bob Melvin's handled it well.
1-2 pitch is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Ausmus said earlier this week, he said, look, when I played here in 1999, we lost over 90 games and had a losing record the next year. I know since I've left what the expectations have become here in Tiger Town, if you will. 2-2. Overshift is on, a swing and a sharp ground ball to Iglesias. His play would be to first base this time. He allows Butler to advance from second to third. Billy broke toward third, thinking, oh no, is there a ball coming over my shoulder right to Castellanos to make another play on me?
And that actually was a sprint by Billy Butler. He realized that as he took off, and he did not want it to happen again. Of course, that was a different scenario because Butler was there before with nobody out. Now there are 2.
Now Brett Lawrie will stand in. A's leading 6-0. Brett singled the other way and scored, hit a line drive toward right that was picked off the top of the base by Cabrera, and then he touched the bag and doubled off Reddick. As Hardy offers a strike on Lawrie, it's 0-1. Only one hit for the Tigers so far today. 0-1 breaking ball chopped towards short and picked up by Iglesias across the diamond, and the inning is over. But the A's pick up 2 more along the way on a couple of hits, an error by Bruce Fields, and a man left. On the bottom of the 5th inning, Oakland in charge, 6-0. Ian Kinsler will start things off for the Tigers, bottom of the 5th inning. Jesse Hahn with a 6-0 lead, another unearned run in the game. And again, it is charged to the Tigers. So 6 runs on the card for Green, 4 earned and 4 1/3 today. He allowed 8 hits, walked 2, struck out 2. Kinsler, Martinez, and Collins. Kinsler walked on 4 pitches back in the 2nd. The wind in the righty's offer is inside, ball 1. He's retired 5 batters in a row. See if Jesse can keep that roll going.
8 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 1 intention.
The 1-0 pitch swung on, grounded on the right side, and right there is Zobrist. He got a nice hop and over to first base in time. There's 1 out. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the beautiful Waterfront Hotel in Oakland's Jack London Square. Texas tonight will be hosting Chicago. Giovanni Gallardo against Carlos Rodon. And Texas now playing without the newly acquired Josh Hamilton. He's on the shelf for about a month with a hamstring injury that he suffered on the walk-off double that he had a couple of days ago for the Rangers. That's just strange. Now Martinez stands in. A bouncing ball to third. Coming in, getting the second hop is Lawrie. A high throw. The tag applied by Vogt, but not in time as Martinez went by. Steven thought he got the tag on the shoulder before Martinez touched the bag, and he's asking Greg Gibson, and now Stephen Vogt is going to ask Bob Melvin to use the technology and see if the A's will get this play overturned.
Yeah, they're going to look at it. And Bob Melvin immediately got the word from Adam Roden, and that's what talked about in the A's warm-up with Adam, because these are, I mean, as quickly as
this one was easy.
Yeah, but as soon as Bob Melvin walked up on the steps, I mean, it hardly took him more than a couple of seconds to say, let's put the headsets on and take a look at it.
Well, and they're going to look at it, and it should take about 30 seconds, and they'll overturn it. And Martinez will be retired 5-3, because clearly on the replay, Steven on the leaping catch, and the tag did get Martinez before the foot touched the bag. Jim Joyce, the crew chief and home plate umpire, on the headset to New York along with Greg Gibson. And like I said, this is not going to take too long, and he is out.
Well, and Diamond Vision here at Detroit, they showed it and they stopped it when they showed Stephen Vogt making the tag. And that means nothing because New York is not really seeing the jumbo board here as in any park, but I'd say from everybody's standpoint that, yeah, it was automatic. But great play by Stephen Vogt really coming up.
The play at first has been overturned.
Now Collins bats.
5-3 put out.
Collins, a ground ball to first his first time up. The wind and the offer. Outside ball one. Visit www.waterfronthoteloakland.com and enter the promo code baseball to save on your next stay. 6-0 A's in the fifth. And the next delivery, a changeup missing upstairs, ball two.
And Vinny, you were 5 seconds off. It took 25 seconds, not 30.
If only that could be the
yeah, exactly
the consistent number we hear in these replays moving forward. 2-0 pitch, a swung on, hit high in the air to left, hit pretty well. Back is Fold to the track at the wall, and he is there to make the catch up against the fence. 344 feet away as Collins made a bid for a home run number one. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers, and 7 in a row retired by Jesse Hahn. And Sam Fold made the great catch as we go to the top of the sixth inning. A's in front 6-0. Back for the sixth inning. A's leading 6-0 as Eric Sogard standing in against Blaine Hardy. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch and the pitch. Slider over at the belt, and it's 1-1 on the A's shortstop today. He has reached on a fielder's choice and scored. He has singled. He'll be followed by Josh Phegley and Sam Fold. Breaking ball hit behind third base, down in the left field corner. Fields giving chase, and it is a foul ball. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Vinny, just looking at straightaway center field and seeing that huge crane, kind of thought maybe that was for you since Mount Davis was constructed and they were using those cranes while the games were being played, and you know, a lot of things were happening in center field at the Coliseum in the mid-90s, and that crane was pretty evident throughout the season.
Here's a 1-2 offer, swung on line the other way, a base hit between Iglesias and Castellanos, and Sogard with 2 hits and 3 at-bats. And once again, the A's get the leadoff man on for the 5th consecutive inning, and a total of 9 hits. And here comes Phegley. Tomorrow it's Scott Kazmir for the A's, and he will be opposed by Wade Miley, who pitched the game of the year for him against the Athletics when the Red Sox came to the Coliseum. 4:05 first pitch. Guy Haberman with the pregame coverage from Fenway at 3:30. A swing on a changeup and a miss by Phegley for strike 1.
So, Vinny, there's a little doom and gloom in the media here in Detroit. What about the media in Boston.
I know it was, but they've won the last 2 days against Minnesota, taking 2 out of 3. They did split the doubleheader last night.
They're only 5 games out, but 24-30. We're talking about the Red Sox.
Well, just let them be that way for 3 more, starting tomorrow, actually, because.
And I think also they're encouraged by what they got again from the youngster Eduardo Rodriguez, the left-hander who went 7 innings again yesterday afternoon for them in game 1 of their doubleheader. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Good slider. Cut over by Fegley. He's behind 0-2. Sam Fuld waiting on deck, and Sam, he's struggled at the plate again today. Just 7 for his last 74, but he certainly has held up his end of the bargain with the glove. Nice catch in left center, then ending the bottom of the 5th inning, went all the way to the wall and made a catch. 0-2 breaking ball, swung on and fouled at the plate. Baltimore maintaining their 1-0 lead in the 3rd at Houston. Only other game that is happening at the moment. Outfield playing Fegley to pull his triple. The first in his big league career was a rocket to right center. Scored 2 runs in that 3-run second for Oakland. A snap throw to first base, and Sogard is back over safely.
Quite a performance by Lance McCullers last night. A complete game, 11 strikeouts for the young man. Saw him make his major league debut against the A's.
Didn't even get through 5 in that game against Oakland. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, foul back again.
They said he struck out 11, and 10 of the 11 strikeouts were on breaking balls. And he's throwing 95 miles an hour, so Astros must be thrilled with what they've seen from him so far.
It's amazing that he got the chance. A lot of folks certainly in the Bay Area are familiar with Mark Appel, but he's been struggling at Double-A this year, the kid out of Stanford. 0-2 pitch sails over the glove of Holiday all the way to the screen on the fly, and that will move Sogard to second base on a big league wild pitch from Blaine Hardy. And there are wild pitches, and then there's the one that Hardy just delivered past Holiday.
Trying to wake up somebody back behind home plate, and he must have.
But Vince Ray and I were talking last night during the TV game that Astros have the 2nd and 5th pick in the upcoming draft. 2 of the first 5 picks.
1-2 pitch, swung on, lifted toward right center field. Over for it is Collins, and he's there to make the catch. Tagging from second, moving to third on the play is Sogard.
That was an at bat. I was just thinking, as Fegley behind quickly 0-2, and they're going to congratulate him, and they should. A whole dugout walking down to the end, because once the wild pitch occurred, he had 1 pitch left, and it lofted the ball to right center field, enough to move the runner over to third base. That is really a top. I mean, that's an offer, but that's at the top of the list with an at bat.
And that's still with a team up 6-0,
yeah, exactly.
and not satisfied with that, trying to score for the 4th and different inning against the Tigers, who will close the infield into the edge of the grass for Fuld. Sam's 0 for 2. Left on left. He hits a curveball on the backhand of the first baseman Cabrera. He'll take it himself. He'll keep Sogard at third base. And Sam's troubles continue at the plate. So Sogard doesn't come off the bag at third, and here comes Billy Burns. Billy singled, stole a base, and scored in the 5th. That Billy run that he scored. He's batting right-handed now. He's got a 9-game hitting streak after the single last inning, and 4 hits in this series. Hardy's pitch is swung on, chopped at third. Reaching for it is Castellanos. He was up close, goes across the infield. The A's come away empty in the 6th inning. That hasn't happened very much today against the Tigers. Midway through the 6th from Comerica, Oakland in front 6-0. 14 shutout innings against the Tigers so far in his 2 outings against Detroit. He'll face Castellanos, Holiday, and Ghosts. Castellanos, a base hit up the middle, is only time up. The only hit today allowed by Hahn, a clean single back through the box. He takes inside and low, ball 1.
8 ground ball outs, 5 innings. Jesse Hahn right on pace.
And the righty fires. He's off the plate, down and away, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Castellanos is somebody, I mean, he's not the only one. Maybe unfair to point to pick on him, but this is a young bat they need to get some more consistent production out of. And maybe feeling the pressure because they're not getting the production from other spots. A fly ball to right, and Reddick has an easy chance. In and over toward the line, he'll make the catch. There's 1 out. What's that like for a young player? He knows it's his 2nd full year. He's with a team that expects to contend and win. But missing Victor Martinez, Kinsler's been struggling. Avila is out. You know, Victor's out. How tough is that for a young player just to try to stay in their own lane?
Well, that's what they have to do, and that's where the encouragement from management and especially hitting coach, managers saying, you know, you're not the one we expect to get the production from, even though these guys are out. There are other guys that should be doing the job.
Now Holiday stands in. The catcher takes low and away, ball 1.
However, he is playing in a position which you're expecting that, you know, and that's why there was talk. I know we talked about on the TV side. If they get a first baseman, Ryan Howard's name has come up, then Cabrera goes back to third.
1-0 offer, bounce to third, 1 hop. Leaping forward is Laurie. Gloves across the diamond, a perfect strike on the vote. And Holiday is 0 for 2 today.
But that's what happens with the adjustments for a young player. While you may hit great, and just like Billy Burns, what he has done this season, and you figure the scouting reports in the future as teams start to face him, are they going to give him that first pitch fastball knowing that he's swinging at first pitch fastballs? And you know, they may want to waste a pitch trying to get him to swing at a bad pitch. And so for Castellanos, 2nd year, has success. They make changes, adjustments. You have to do the same as a player.
Brad Ausmus hoping to find some cure for their offense. Anthony Gose has not got a hit in the series. He stands in, takes ball 1 low. He's 0 for 11. And last time he broke his bat and hit into a 4-6-3 double play. 1-0 offer. Changeup over the plate but low, ball 2. And Gose came into the game having a lot of success at home, hitting almost 340. The 2-0 pitch. It is in there at the knees, a called strike.
Well, you can understand, just like with Shane Green giving up those 5 home runs on the road. He comes here. This is a tough place to hit home runs, especially if you're a pitcher. He had a chance to get out of his own mess, but he made the error.
2-1. Swung on, fouled, back to the screen.
And really,
2 balls and 2 strikes.
From the A standpoint, they can't feel badly about anybody because they had as horrible 2 months you'd ever want to see. And it's the old thing about who are you playing when you're playing them. And the A's, there are a lot of clubs who are looking forward to playing the A's because they were not playing very good baseball. Now they are, and it's a whole different story.
The 2-2, curveball, line foul off to the left. Well, certainly when you look back on those issues, easy to identify the struggles of the bullpen.
Sure.
And identify the troubles with the defense. Defense has gotten a little better. The bullpen's gotten a lot better because, in part, the starters have gone deeper into games.
That's right.
2-2 the count, and the righty fires, and the pitch is looped in a shallow left, going out for the Sogard beyond his reach, and it lands for just the 2nd Tigers hit today. Fold will play it back in, and Gose is aboard, and that'll bring Iglesias up. A's in their last 11 games have combined starters and relievers to pitch to a 1.73 ERA. Overall, they're 4th best in the league. The A's pitchers at 3.52. And leading today 6-0. Almost had a shutout on Tuesday night. Had it not been, or last night rather, had it not been for the blast for Cabrera in the 9th inning. And looking for their 9th pitching shutout today and their 4th consecutive win. The pitch is outside, ball 1 as Iglesias stands in. We'll see Iglesias' original club, the Red Sox, coming up over the weekend at Fenway. And it'll be interesting. The A's have 3 left-hand relievers in the bullpen right now with O'Flaherty and Abad and Pomerantz. And there really hasn't been that dynamic lefty in this lineup. Well, you know, some guy named Ortiz is in the lineup for the Red Sox. Here's the 1-0. Fastball taken all the way for a strike, and it's 1-1. So you would think that they will get an opportunity maybe in that one-on-one matchup in a key moment in that series. Iglesias from Cuba got to the big leagues originally with the Red Sox briefly in 2012, and then hit .330 for them in 13 before he was moved to the Tigers. He swings and bounces one up the third baseline, and it trickles out of play.
And maybe for Fernando Abad, David Ortiz was raving about Abad and his success, and he said, how does this guy have a 6 ERA? Well, he pitched in the correct way, threw him the heartbreaking pitches, didn't give Ortiz a chance to adjust, which he did last year when he hit the home run to opposite field after the A's hit 2 home runs off Uehara to tie the game. But he throws a hard slider. He's a tough lefty, especially on a left-handed hitter.
1-2 pitch, swung on, served softly to center, charging in is Burns, and he has to take it on a bounce. Thought maybe Billy would get to it all the way and catch it on the fly, but he laid back on it.
Wow.
So Iglesias gets the hit. Suddenly the Tigers are trying to make some noise. 2 on and 2 out. And the reason you hoped he could make the catch is because here comes Miguel Cabrera. And he can make things interesting for the Tigers with one swing of the bat.
You know, with his speed, the way he took off, playing shallow, thought he was going to catch it easily. And I was shocked that he let it drop.
In a 6-0 lead, too. I mean, he has a little bit of wiggle room if he wanted to be aggressive.
And especially with this guy coming up. But that was surprising. I mean, it's one thing he was playing deep, and it was not hit that hard, but he was playing him shallow.
So here comes Cabrera. 2 on, 2 out. He's 0 for 2 today. Just the second time of the series he's batting with somebody on base. And we saw what happened last night. First pitch, a swing and a miss, up and away with a fastball at 93, and that's strike 1. A's with a 6-0 lead, but Cabrera, their #1 hitter, trying to get the Tigers closer. He's 3 for 10 in the series. He hit a bomb to center last night for the double. Brought in the run against Fernando Rodriguez, scoring Iglesias. Jesse only at 79 pitches on the day. 2 on and 2 out. And Burns, or rather Hahn delivers a slider up and in, ball 2, or rather ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
As much as you don't want to think about Cabrera reaching base, but it's not Cespedes in the on-deck circle. I mean, you have a young kid who struggled in the outfield and took strike 3 in his first major league at bat. But 6-run lead makes it a little bit easier for Jesse Hahn to pitch Cabrera after back-to-back hits.
And the wind is blowing toward the left field corner right now. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, grounded sharply up the middle. That's a base hit. Around third as goes. He'll score without a throw, and the Tigers get on the board. Miguel Cabrera with a ground ball base hit. His 36th run batted in, moves Iglesias to second base, and the Tigers trail it now 6-1. He just knows how to drive in runs, period. And now Curt Young, the A's pitching coach, will make his first visit to the mound.
Also looks too, he never tries to do too much. I mean, here, a game like this, where, boy, wouldn't a 3-run homer be nice if you're the Tigers? But he's not trying to swing out of his shoes. He just stays right with it and goes right back up the middle.
Quick conversation out there with Curt, and now already on his way back to the A's dugout as Field stands in. Cabrera with his 36th run batted in. He has over 1,400 RBIs already in his career. That happened number 1,400 on May 21st against the Astros. 5th youngest player to reach that plateau. So now Hahn back to work against the rookie Fields, who would love to atone for his misplay in the outfield earlier. First pitch is a breaking ball, and it's in for a strike, 0-1. Struck out on an inside fastball back in the 4th. Oakland 6 and Detroit 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Outfield playing Fields the other way. Onto the belt. The big leg kick in the pitch. He's outside with another off-speed delivery. That's 1 ball, 1 strike. In fact, even with the left-hand hitting Fields at the plate, Josh Reddick is over toward right center. He's almost past the 365 mark out there, where that corner juts back a little bit. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good fastball down and away. 92 on the gun from Hahn, and now he's ahead of 1 ball and 2 strikes. All those nooks and crannies out there in right center field sometimes can pose a problem for the outfielders, and now Reddick has actually moved past that little cutout even further toward right center. 1-2 the count. The sign by Fegley, and here comes the pitch in the dirt with a changeup, and Fegley has to go to his right to smother it for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All this happening with 2 outs in the inning. 3 consecutive singles by Gose, Iglesias, and Cabrera. Cabrera's drove in a run. And now the crowd finally having reason to cheer. And they come to life trying to support Fields in his major league debut. The 2-2. Tried another changeup, and it's outside and low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He's gotten Fields back in the count as it's gone full.
And the only thing there now, he struck him out with a fastball his first at bat. It was 1-2. Now he can gear it up a little bit better. The hitter can, thinking they might be getting a fastball, and I would think that's what he's going to get on 3-2, and hopefully down in the zone, maybe a ground ball to get out of it.
Kinsler waiting on deck. 3-2 pitch, and here it comes. Quick pitch to him, got it on the inside corner, and gone a look at his Bruce Fields. So, or rather, it's a Daniel Fields, Bruce's son. So Jesse Hahn snuck one by him, got the strikeout. It was his 3rd of the day, gives up a run and nothing more. On to the 7th, A's in front 6-1. Sports Service is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB TV for details and keep up with the green and gold. We're through 6. A's in front 6-1. On to the 7th, and here's Glenn.
So a new pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. It's Tom Gorzelani. Gorzelani, the left-hander who pitched an inning in last night's game, gave up a run. He'll face Zobrist, Vogt, and Butler, top of the 7th. 6-1, the A's lead. And Gorzelani's first pitch is inside to Zobrist. Zobrist swings around to hit from the right side. He's popped to first, line to right, and popped to third. A 1-0 pitch in the dirt. And no, it hit Zobrist. It just got him in the foot, and the catcher, Brian Holiday, is asking Jim Joyce about, he doesn't think it hit him. And now Brad Ausmus is coming out, and Brad Ausmus turns around and looks to his dugout to say, hey, check this on video. But I don't think it hit Zobrist, did it?
No, I don't think it did either.
I think it missed it by actually quite a bit. And now they're calling Zobrist back.
And Melvin's throwing up his arm, saying, wait a minute, that's just a conversation.
Jim Joyce has his mask off, and now he's kind of walking toward the A's dugout, so nobody's quite sure what the heck's going on. Zobrist is grabbing his bat from the bat boy.
He said he's dead, but I believe him.
Now let's step aside for station identification. You're listening to the A's Radio Network. So Bob Melvin ends the discussion with Jim Joyce, and Ben Zobrist has a bat, and he's headed back to the batter's box.
What was it, Jim Joyce? You could hear him say, he said it hit him, and I believe him, but yet he's called him back. At least he didn't call it a strike.
Well, the monitor that we're looking at, it was a little bit closer to hitting him than maybe we thought, but either way, it is not a hit by pitch. Pitch was called a ball, and the 2-0 pitch is in for a strike, so now it's 2-1. So Zobrist got to first, but now he's back at home plate. 2-1 delivery is outside. 3-1.
I wonder what Brad Ausmus said to Jim Joyce to convince him that you got it wrong.
Exactly. That was surprising.
Because it wasn't like Greg Gibson came down from first, said no, it didn't hit him. I could tell from 120 feet away.
And that one on the inside corner, strike 2 called. Zobrist took a step toward first base. Yeah, you're right. I mean, did Joyce just change his mind?
He might have.
Maybe he did. So full count. Gorzelani, the lefty, facing Zobrist, batting right-handed. And the payoff pitch is fouled straight back to the screen.
And Jim Joyce got to be thinking, can I not come to Detroit without any controversy? You know, can I just be here and not noticed?
Just slide in, slide out.
Yeah. Well, he was one day away from being the 5-year anniversary of being at first base.
So another 3-2 to Zobrist. It's up and away, and it's a leadoff walk.
Silvetti, there's another leadoff man on base.
Hasn't stopped since the second inning.
So you're right. That's 6 straight times the A's have had their leadoff man aboard. Third walk issued by Tigers pitchers, and here's Stephen Vogt for his 4th at bat. He has not been retired today. Vogt singled in the first, walked and scored in the third, walked and scored in the 5th. One of those was an intentional walk. Gorzelani's first pitch is up and away. Orioles and the Astros are tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And in Houston, Astros trying to finish off a sweep of the Orioles. It's a 4-game series too, right? Vogt swings at a slider and he missed it. 1-1.
Hard to imagine a team that won 96 games a year ago, like Baltimore did, and having the troubles they're having right now.
Well, nobody can figure out what's going on in the AL East. All of a sudden, the Yankees feel good with Tanaka back. Gorzelani checks, kicks, and delivers, and that's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. So Vogt now behind in the count, 1-2. Outfield plays Vogt straight away. Infield has Iglesias, the shortstop, pretty much right behind second base. And Castellanos, the third baseman, pulled over toward the shortstop spot. Long look by Gorzelani. And the pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, strike 3 call. So Vogt could not pull the trigger, and that's out number 1 here in the 7th. Gorzelani keeping it away from Vogt. He made a couple of pretty good pitches. So with 1 out, Billy Butler steps in. Butler's had a big game. He struck out in the first, but doubled in a run in the 3rd and singled in a run in the 5th.
And both those times coming with 2 strikes. The hits coming with 2 strikes, and the A's have done a good job opposite field hitting and 2-strike hitting today.
And Butler swings at the first pitch, hits it high and foul down the right field line. Well back amongst the crowd. So RBIs have been a little bit tough to come by for Billy Butler the last month or so, but a couple today, and that's a good sign for the A's cleanup hitter. He now has 28 RBIs on the year. Zobrist, the runner at first, he walked, and the pitch is a fastball outside. A's with 3 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fifth for their 6-1 lead here in the 7th inning.
And the A's like to see the unearned runs in that column, something they had been facing the first couple of months. Too many unearned runs, but they've taken advantage of a couple today.
Butler takes a strike as Gorzolani went off speed, and he got it in for a strike. So the count 1-2. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the A's. 1 run, 4 hits, and the 2 errors for the Tigers. And both costly errors. Quick throw to first, and Cabrera has to reach down to grab it. So a beautiful day in Detroit. Just a little cloud cover. Not too humid. One-two pitch to Butler is a fastball at 94 miles an hour from Gorzolani, but it's up and away. Gorzolani was signed as a free agent in the offseason on a 1-year, $1 million deal. Tigers told him up front, you're going to pitch out of the bullpen. Glances toward Zobrist, and he delivers again up and away, and now it's 3-2. So he's a little all over the place.
And you figure with a good fastball, just throw it down the middle. And maybe trying, but unfortunately for him, he's not following through and missing up and away to the right hand.
Payoff pitch. Zobrist runs. The ball's hit high and foul down the right field line. Butler's average now sitting at 265. So Zobrist returns to first base. Tyler Collins, the right fielder, is really playing Butler close to the line, much closer than the normal right field spot. But Butler does hit the ball down that way. Runner goes again, pitches outside. He walked him. So a couple of walks by Gorzolani here in the 7th inning.
Always surprises me when a guy's got that kind of fastball, mid-90s. A little deceptive. Throws a curveball 3-2. And I mean, there's such a thing as challenging. And you move a runner in scoring position, have a chance, maybe get a strikeout and throw him out, because Zobrist was not getting a huge break off first base.
So that'll bring up Reddick with an RBI opportunity. Zobrist at second, Butler at first. First pitch to Reddick is a curveball that spins in there for a strike. So Reddick probably wasn't looking for a first pitch curveball or a slider, and he took it for a strike. Reddick has singled and scored, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded out. 1 for 3. And he hits this one high in the air to center field. Goes back. He's going to make the catch as he shades toward left center. Zobrist tags. He's going to try for third, and he just gets in as the ball pops off the glove of Castellanos, but they were not going to get Zobrist anyway.
Well, I think that's a challenge for Ben, because one, he's talked about how he has to retrain his body on how to slide and slide with the other leg, because that's what caused the issue with the knee surgery to begin with. And the other thing is, because of recovering from the knee surgery, he's having a difficult time stopping, getting his momentum going and stopping.
Yeah. Man, he opted for that instead.
He did not slide.
And he just put his left hand on his left quad and his knee and kind of stretch it a little bit, because that was the one. But you know, it is hard sliding. If you're accustomed to sliding, in the case on the left leg, to switch around, that's not easy to do.
Yeah. So here's Laurie. First pitch to Laurie is drilled towards center, goes on the move, and that's going to be over his head, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Zobrist scores. Here comes country breakfast, but he's going to hold at third. As Billy Butler, he was digging hard, and it looked like they were going to send him, but Mike Gallego held him up right at the last minute, but it's a booming double for Laurie that knocks in a run, and it is 7-1, the A's lead.
How could he not score that close? 420 feet away, 2 outs. Wow.
I had him coming, guys.
I did too. I figured it's going to be not even a throw, and maybe Laurie's going to go for 3.
So Laurie with a couple of hits and an RBI, second and third. 2 outs and a run in here for the A's in the 7th inning as Sogard hits. First pitch breaking ball to Sogard stays inside.
And you know that was killing Guy.
They actually have to think that there was going to be a decision.
Right. Wow. I mean, especially 2 outs. By the time the ball got over Gose's head, Butler should already been at second base.
There's a strike with a fastball. 1-1 the count.
Well, fortunately, I mean, that makes it 7-1. Fortunately, it's not a tight game.
No.
And that run means something because I would think Mike Gallego might have been sending him. I'm surprised he didn't send him this time.
So 1-1 the count to Sogard, who is 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. And he swings at a slider and misses. So what I'd like to hear now is maybe a post-game conversation between Brett Laurie and Billy Butler.
Exactly. You going to be the big cheese? Going to be the cheese?
Big Cheese wanted an RBI.
Billy said, I've been on the bases too much. I've been running all day, and I ran as hard as I could. Maybe he should go to number 22.
1-2 pitch to Sogard. He waves at a slider and misses. Side retired, but the A's get a run on an RBI double by Laurie, couple of walks, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch. From Comerica, it's the Athletics 7 and the Tigers 1. Well, the A's trip to Detroit has been a good one so far. They're going for the sweep, and as we reach the bottom of the 7th, it's the A's 7 and the Tigers 1. So the A's in this series have outscored the Tigers so far 18-5. Yeah. So plenty of offense, but really I think the biggest story has been the pitching. It's been terrific for a pretty good stretch now, especially here in this series. And Jesse Hahn part of that as he's back out there for the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Ian Kinsler is a fastball for a strike.
Okay, if you go back to the first 2 games in Oakland against the Tigers, Hahn shut them out on Memorial Day. Unearned run on Tuesday night with Jesse Chavez on the mound.
A curveball is looped to right field by Kinsler, and that's going to drop in for a hit. So Kinsler just kind of reached for it. He just hit a little flare, and that's a leadoff single. And Kinsler gets the 5th hit for the Tigers today. So for Jesse Hahn, he has walked 1, he has struck out 3, and he is now sitting at 90 pitches. as he faces J.D. Martinez. Martinez has hit a fly ball to left field, and he is grounded to third. First pitch, good swing, fouls it straight back on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
It's almost as if Jesse Hahn has not been able to get into a nice smooth rhythm, just because the offense spending a lot of time, base runners, scoring some runs, which is always nice, but that means a lot of extra time in the dugout. And he does have, by my count, 9 ground ball outs through 6 innings, which is always good.
Bounce toward third, but foul, just foul. Marvin Hudson called it. Brett Lawrie went after it.
Don't you think the one thing that's beginning to kind of unveil itself is that the young starters that the A's have acquired in Kendall Graveman and also Jesse Hahn, they're really starting to settle into where they are, who they are, and the A's are getting a better idea of maybe what they can potentially do?
That's a great point.
0-2 to Martinez. And the pitch is close, but a bit inside, but a good 0-2 pitch by Jesse Hahn.
And to your point, Vinny, the fact that with Pomeranz coming back, he goes to the bullpen. Graveman stays in the rotation, and confidence for him to know that he's going to be there every 5th day. Same for Jesse Hahn, and see what happens when A.J. Griffin is on his rehab now, starts to come back.
1-2 pitch inside again to J.D. Martinez.
A pretty good idea that Jared Parker's not coming back. And he was expected maybe at this time to be back, and we hope he's doing well after having elbow surgery.
Sounded like A.J. Griffin was going to throw a bullpen session today at the Coliseum. And if he felt okay, it was going to be Sunday in Stockton that A.J. was going to pitch. Martinez takes strike 3 called on the outside corner. Hahn, a couple of fastballs in off the plate, and then a fastball on the outside corner, perfectly spotted, and he gets strikeout number 4. So pretty good job of pitching right there by 25-year-old Jesse Hahn.
Staying hard too. He's got the good curveball he's using, plus a changeup, but that looked like a 4-seam fastball to Martinez, and the 4th spot in the batting order between Cespedes once and Fields twice. There's 3 of the 4 strikeouts.
So 1 away for Collins. Tyler Collins takes the first pitch strike. A's with a 7-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Tyler Collins has grounded out to first and hit a deep fly ball to left field that Sam Fuld caught right in front of the wall. That was in the 5th inning. 0-1 pitch is low, blocked by Fegley.
It's great to see Josh Fegley, and another good block, and just to watch the base runners. And granted, it's a 6-run game, but because of his arm strength and his ability, even blocking a ball, to pick it up and throw strongly to the bases, you don't see the aggressiveness of the base runners taking the secondary lead and thinking about getting to the next base.
Hahn, check of the runner, and the pitch is just a bit low. 2-1.
Cap, we saw, was it Ghost? Someone showing a strong arm. I think it was Ghost.
Ghost has a good arm.
And we were talking about how just making the throw, really in a situation, not going to throw anybody out, but at least everybody saw that he has the strong arm. And Mike Gallego is very good coaching third. He knows the arm strengths of the outfielders.
That one tapped foul up the first base line. So the count even at 2-2.
But to your point about the infield practice, that's where you could show off your arm. And a lot of times it would be a deterrent for trying to steal a base or take the extra base, because, hey, this guy could throw. And in addition to good times for the fans, but the players had a chance to show off their arms, and scouts had a chance to see how they could throw. Now, kind of deprived a little bit unless they see it during a ball game.
Kinsler, the runner at first. 2-2 pitch is inside to the backstop as it goes right past Fegley, and Kinsler will go to second, and the count will be 3-2.
And that's very similar to what Kendall Graveman did on Tuesday night with the bases loaded. Fold had set up inside. He overthrew it and threw it outside for a wild pitch. And I think Jesse Hahn, realizing this probably his last inning, trying to get through the inning without having the bullpen come in. Pomeranz did start the inning loosening in the bullpen.
Well, he's right at 100 pitches now. He steps off the rubber. Now steps back on. Kinsler walks away at second with his lead. He's not being held on. And the 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Tyler Collins swings through a fastball, and that's strikeout number 5 for Jesse Hahn.
Gershlani last inning, top of the inning, threw a 3-2 curveball to Billy Butler. And what does Hahn do to Martinez and to Collins? Wears back and throws it hard, throws it back.
Well, it seems like he's used his fastball really well today.
Yeah. And not the sinking fastball that we're accustomed to seeing, and getting ground ball out. So 5 strikeouts, but using the fastball very effectively. He did it to Fields twice. He got Cespedes on a breaking ball. Otherwise, 4 of the 5 strikeouts have come on the fastball.
It's Castellanos, first pitch, slider, swing and a miss. Castellanos has singled and hit a fly ball to right field. Hahn in his last start threw 103 pitches. That was against the Yankees last weekend. A 1 pitch is low to even the count at 1-1. Al Albuquerque's been warming up in the Tigers bullpen, so we could certainly see Albuquerque in the 8th inning. A's 7, Tigers 1 in the 7th. Hahn delivers, and the ball's lined right into the glove of the second baseman Ben Zobrist, and the side is retired, so a runner stranded, and we are through 7 from Detroit. It's the A's 7 and the Tigers 1. In Detroit, A's with a 7-1 lead to the Tigers, and it's back to Vince Cotroneo. Vinny.
It's Al Albuquerque. He is the 4th pitcher of the day for Detroit. Fegley, Fold, and Burns. A's have scored in 4 different innings this afternoon as they attempt their first sweep in Detroit against the Tigers since 2002 and their first 4-game winning streak of the year. Fegley tripled his first time up. Drove in 2, hit into a forced play and a fly ball to right. And the first pitch from Albuquerque is up, a check swing, and he did not go around.
Hey, Vinny, wasn't it 2013 they had a chance for a 4-game sweep? Really?
Right.
Before Torrey Hunter hit the walk-off?
Yeah, it was against Grant Balfour.
Yeah.
Pitch a strike on the outside corner. Last year, there's the dramatic walk-off grand slam by Rajai Davis against Sean Doolittle. In a game they were down 3-0.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1. In there at the belts. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Albuquerque appearing for the 23rd time this year. No record of .380 ERA. 21 in the 3rd innings. Of course, his famous moment against the A's and Yoenis Cespedes in the playoffs. A swing and a liner toward left center. Ghost tracking it and getting to it in time. And Fegley's retired. There is 1 out. And that'll bring Fold to the plate when Cespedes hit the comebacker to the mound, and Albuquerque fielded it, kissed the baseball, and then underhanded it over to first base. See if the A's go. Drew Pomerantz in the bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland enjoying a 7-1 lead. Now Sam Fold is 0 for 3. He's made 2 nice plays in the field, however. Swings at a high fastball behind 0-1. We had a chance to visit with Michael Milken today, who's at the ballpark, and Tommy Lasorda along as well, as we get ready for the Prostate Cancer Foundation Home Run Challenge version 2015, the 20th year, as the 0-1 is fouled back. And the home runs we're going to count today. The A's have got a lot of hits, a lot of runs, 7 runs on 10 hits, haven't left the ballpark yet. But typically it's right around Father's Day, and that'll happen again this year, June 15th to June 21st. 0-2 is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can go to homeRunChallenge.org and pledge a donation for their team's home runs during that stretch that we talked about, those dates that are right around the corner. 1-2 pitch is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of families, including mine, affected by prostate cancer. My father is a prostate cancer survivor. 1 in 7 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. Always important to get checked. 2-2, swung on, lifted to shallow left. In Fortis Fields, coming toward the line. He'll make a one-handed catch. And there are 2 away.
Simple blood test. Simple lab blood test, PSA. Monitor it, and that's as simple as it is.
It's diagnosed every 2.4 minutes, and 1 man dies from the disease every 19 minutes. So, indeed, getting that PSA number, getting it checked, and then following your doctor's recommendations. Billy swings at a slider down and in, strike 1. And again, it's the Prostate Cancer Foundation 2015 Home Run Challenge. And it's from June 15th to the 21st. And fans can go to homeRunChallenge.org and make donations on behalf of eradicating that terrible disease. Next delivery to Billy is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. A's leading 7-1 here in the 8th inning. Outfield swung around the other way on Burns. 1 for 4 today. His 10th stolen base and his 19th run scored. Here comes the 1-1. Up and in. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The Tigers will be leaving Motown. They're on the way to Chicago to take on the White Sox for the weekend. Then they come right back here for interleague play against the Cubs. Next delivery from the right-hander is low. Now 3 balls and a strike. The A's are getting closer to interleague play. They'll finally begin their foray into National League play against San Diego coming up. 3-1 pitch foul back, and right now the way the rotation looks, it'll be Scott Kazmir and Jesse Hahn, the 2 starters in that series against the Padres, and they're the ones right now that are concentrating on not getting hurt with the bat in their hands.
Yeah, learning how to bunt.
Yes.
And that's why in 2016, when the collective bargaining comes to an end, they will be negotiating the designated hitter rule.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Burns goes down, so do the A's. 1-2-3 for the first time today. Jesse Hahn's had a heck of an outing for the Athletics through 7.5. A's in front 7-1. The lefty Drew Pomeranz, who went on the disabled list with a little bit of shoulder tightness after making a start in Houston on May 18th, is now back out there in the bullpen for the first time this year. A 2-3 record, a 4.40 ERA. Pomeranz, 43 innings, 39 hits, 26 runs, 16 walks, and 32 strikeouts as he follows Jesse Hahn, who had quite the afternoon for the Athletics against the Tigers. And Pomeranz, the 6'5" right-hander from Colliers, or left-hander rather, from Colliersville, Tennessee, will face Brian Holiday, Anthony Gose, and Jose Iglesias. And things go well, you would think that Drew will get a chance to just kind of run the table today and take the 2 innings, and the A's can get out of town and get to Beantown and then cheer on the hometown Warriors.
1 wild pitch. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run earned.
Holiday's 0 for 2.
5 strikeouts.
And the first delivery, a strike. It's 0-1. 7 innings for Jesse Hahn.
I like what Bob Millman said about Pomeranz. He needed some power arms in the bullpen, and because he can come in and air it out and not try to pace himself as a reliever, he can do that.
0-1 pitch inside at 94. 1 ball, 1 strike. Made 1 relief appearance at Stockton and was effective there. Jesse allowed 5 hits, 1 run. He walked 1, struck out 5, and in line for his 3rd win of the year, his 2nd against the Tigers in less than 2 weeks. Fastball outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Drew in that outing against Houston walked 5 men in the game that was started by Lance McCullers. The A's eventually won that one 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, just reared back and got it by him at 94 again. There's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He threw 2 innings on the rehab at Stockton. The 1 tune-up before he got back on the active roster. The 2-2 backdoor breaking ball missed with that spike curve, and a full count of 3-2. (7-1) Oakland here in the 8th inning. It's been a good day all the way around for the Athletics. 3-2 pitch, fastball high, pop up first base side and a foul ground. Stephen Vogt through the coach's box, staying with it, reaches out and makes the catch. And there's 1 out. Holiday's retired. And now Anthony Gose will bat.
And Fairly that time on the 3-2, and good idea. He's set up inside, and anytime we have seen Pomeranz have success, it's whenever he has finished pitches inside and kind of a little bit of elevation about the belt high. Sometimes as a pitcher, when you try to guide the ball to the outside part of the plate, you end up throwing it too much off, ends up being out of the strike zone. But a good idea, Fegley moving inside, forcing him to finish the pitch, and he got a pop-up.
Left on left now, and Drew always works out of the stretch anyway, so this isn't unusual. As he stretches and delivers low to Gose, ball 1. Gose has scored the only run today for the Tigers. Tigers have managed to score only 5 runs in this series. A's pitching has held up their end of the bargain. 1-0 pitch, a wave and a miss. Lively fastball at 94, and it's 1-1. Like we mentioned earlier, some things were not going the Tigers' way. An error on a potential double play ball off the throw of Shane Green when Sogard was up in the 2nd inning might have changed the whole complexion of that inning. 1-1 pitch, a strike on the outside corner. And how many times have we said it? Too many times, really, when the A's would make an error or miscue and it would mushroom into something much larger. A crooked number would be put up. And the A's have turned the tables now recently. 1-2 breaking ball hit left side, cut off by Lord to his left, throws on the run and gets Gose for the 2nd out. So Scott Kazmir and Wade Miley tomorrow, Jesse Chavez and Joe Kelly Saturday. Kendall Graveman will wrap up the road trip on Sunday against Clay Buchholz. The A's will be off on Monday, then home for just a 3-game series against Texas. A's taking advantage of the error by Green and the overrun on the ball by Daniel Fields and left, leading to 2 unearned runs today. And now here's Iglesias against Pomeranz. And he delivers a fastball fouled back, strike one. Iglesias 2 hits in the series. If you look back on part of the success for the A's for these 3 games against the Tigers, Gose is 1 for 13 and Iglesias is 2 for 11. The pitch, breaking ball down. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 2 times that there's been somebody on base for Miguel Cabrera, he's driven in the run.
Yeah.
So not giving him a lot to do has helped the A's potentially be in line for the 3-game sweep. 1-1 the count. And the lefty back to the plate. Swung on, fouled back. It's 1-2.
And moving Kinsler down from the 2nd spot of the batting order to the 5th. He's still struggling, which is good. And from the A's standpoint, he's still trying to figure it out. But this is the final regular season game between these 2 teams. They will not see each other again until possibly October, if that should work out for both teams.
1-2 offer. Breaking ball chopped to the back slope of the mound. Picked up by Pomerantz. He turns and unloads towards Stephen Vogt. Nice play by Pomerantz coming off the mound. His first relief appearance. So 1-2-3. Bottom of the 8th. On to the 9th. All Oakland. For the Tigers, it's been a good day for the A's on the road in Detroit, leading 7-1. Chamberlain making his 20th appearance, 0-1 with a 1.26 ERA, and A's are getting their first look at Java in this series. He's really the primary setup man to Joakim Soria, but they haven't had that opportunity. So Albuquerque, 1 inning, retired the A's, had a strikeout. It'll be Zobrist, Vogt, and Butler in the 9th. Ben walked and scored his last time up, 0 for 3 otherwise. 0 for shift is on, and the burly right-hander from Nebraska kicks and delivers, and the pitch is dribbled up the third baseline, and it squirts off foul for strike 1.
Benny, do you think in hindsight that Chamberlain on Tuesday night might have been a better fix for Brad Ausmus?
0 for what? 0 for 18, 0 for 19 against Zobrist, and he used him in the series back at the Coliseum, so you thought that might have been the matchup, but did not get him into the game. Nesbitt was the one that was burned on the Zobrist grand slam, which lifted the A's to a comeback win. Fastball up and away, 1-1 the count. If the A's hold on today, Glenn Kuiper will be providing us with a post-game interview with his version of the start of the game. 1-1 pitch inside, ball 2.
You got any advice for me? Because nobody does a post-game interview quite like Vince Catroni.
Well, I did one in the Memorial Day, the first time in 20 years.
And it was good, I bet. Did you feel good about it?
Well, everybody was shocked to see me down by the dugout. Said, "Wait a minute, why are you here?"
2-1 pitch, breaking ball, strike. It's 2-2. It's been that kind of a year.
So I do it in the dugout.
Yeah.
Give the fans the true ambiance of being on the field.
And you smell a pine tar.
And you record it too. That's the key. You record it because late Bill King, I used to do them live and have to wait around for him to kind of wrap up. 10 minutes. I'm sitting over the guy. Hey, hang with him now. I'll be there just a second now.
The three most important words in your interview are 3, 2, and 1.
Okay. And then hit REC, right?
Well, and then at the end saying thank you, because to get somebody, but recording it right after the game is perfect.
2-2 pitch, swung on, driven toward left center field. Fields is over. That's Daniel Fields there to make the catch. Played him perfectly, and there's one out. Now Stephen Vogt will bat.
Even JT's excited.
There's a lot of pressure for this.
This is like this is historic, is it not? This is the inaugural Glenn Kuiper radio post-game interview.
You know, hey guys, the pressure is getting through the 9th inning without them scoring again. You know, this is six-run lead. Yeah, in baseball, there's no clock.
That's right.
That's right. It's called outs.
Dan Otero loosening in the A's pen. Stephen Vogt takes a breaking ball, strike one. He has scored twice, walked twice, has a hit. Also struck out looking. A's scored 3 in the second. They have not looked back. The one run for the Tigers in the 6th inning. 0-1 pitch is outside. 1-1 the count. The A's hold on today. It'll be their 4th consecutive victory, their 4th consecutive road victory. Is that right? 4th consecutive road victory. And they'll be within 2 games of the 500 mark on the road. Seeing some signs of the ship turning around and heading in the right direction for Oakland. And they'll be going to take on the Red Sox starting tomorrow. 1-1 pitch. It goes right through Holiday. Back to the screen. And it's 2 balls and a strike. And they've adjusted their lineup tonight in advance of their game against Minnesota. Tommy Malone back in the big leagues with Minnesota, getting the start against the knuckleballer Stephen Wright. And they've moved Hanley Ramirez up to the 2 spot in their lineup. And they've dropped Mookie Betts all the way down to 7. There's a 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball fouled off to the left.
And how about Mr. John Henry, the owner? He was very outspoken.
Very vocal.
Yeah. Which is normally not him. I mean, that's usually, he's kind of on the sidelines, but took it upon himself to gather the press, and you had some choice words for his ball club. Team under his ownership has won 3 world championships.
But he also gave support to both Ben Sherrington, the GM, and the manager, John Farrell.
He should have.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. And down on strikes goes Vogt. And that'll bring Billy Butler to the plate. Billy having a good day. 3 hits, or rather 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a 2-for-3 day. Had a walk his last time up. Billy trying to finally see some results of some recent hard contact that has landed in the outfielder's gloves after long runs.
And the one thing Billy has continued to say, even last night when there were some shots that he hit that were caught, he said, all I'm going to do is keep swinging, they're going to fall in. And, you know, that's the ability to know that every day you're going to be in the lineup, you're going to have the chance to swing.
He cuts through a slider from Jabba for strike 1. And the A's need his presence, the kind of at bats, you know, he can deliver, the kind of production he's used to providing for a team. If that continues its upswing, it definitely reduces a lot of the stress throughout the rest of the lineup. 0-1 pitch is lifted to right, and Collins will have a play. He'll make the catch. The inning is over. The A's 3 outs away from sweeping the Tigers in Detroit for the first time since 2002. To see if Dan Otero comes on and close it out. A's in front, 7-1. in trouble. That's why AAA and the American Red Cross have teamed up to help people prepare for emergencies and disasters. For every A's game-winning save this year, AAA will donate $500 to a local Red Cross so you can high-five that game-winning save, knowing our community will be stronger in times of emergency. To learn more, visit AAA.com/saves. Dan Otero comes on to close out this game. A's in front 7-1. Dan making his 23rd appearance, a 2-3 record, and a 4.88 ERA. Last worked against the Tigers a week ago. He's the one that gave up the home run to Yoenis Cespedes, contest which the A's lost by the final of 3-2. And he'll get Cabrera, Fields, and Kinsler. Hahn for 7, Pomerantz a 1-2-3/8, and now the sinker baller Otero, who delivers to the outside corner, strike one.
You know, been as tempting, I'm sure it'd be for Bob Melvin to have Pomerantz pitch the 9th inning, but also he and Kurt Young want to make sure that all relievers stay sharp, and because the starter's going deep.
0-1 pitch, tied him up inside, and Cabrera swung on and missed. It's 0-2.
Okay, Graveman Tuesday 6, Gray last night 8, Xavi on Sunday 8. So you get pitchers pitching deep in games, and which is good because that way the bullpen can be maneuvered to use different guys in different situations.
0-2 offer, swing and a miss. Got him on a slider away, and Cabrera is retired, and he finishes this series going 4 for 12. And against the A's this year, Cabrera 5 for 20 with 2 RBIs. That's a pretty good job of pitching against that big slugger.
And with the strikeouts that he had a week ago yesterday, probably the worst we've ever seen him swing the bat at the Coliseum when he was flailing at pitches. And that's unfortunately before he was intentionally walked.
Now Daniel Fields takes low, ball 1. Fields came off the bench, but Cespedes left the game. We were told that he had flu-like symptoms before the contest. I don't know if the foul ball off his foot when he struck out of the second was also an instigator to get him out of the game. Fields in his major league debut fouls the sinker at the plate. He's 0 for 2. Has been charged with an error as well. This has turned out to be a good start to the road trip for the A's. They are on the verge of sweeping the Tigers, getting their 23rd win of the season. The 1-1 offer. It is low and inside. And the way they've done it, the formula that you think is the one they'll be using moving forward. They're not a slugging team. They are a pitching team that has to cable hits together in innings. And they've certainly taken advantage of what the Tigers have given them today, and that has to make Bob Melvin very happy. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, pulled on the ground, through the right side, and Fields gets his first big league hit. He's trying for 2. Reddick comes up firing. Fields a head first dive, and he's in safely with a double. Well, the folks in Comerica know the story. Local kid, dad was a coach with the Tigers, still in their system as their minor league hitting coordinator. And Daniel Fields gets his first big league hit. It's a hustle double into right field.
And when you're down 6 runs, and you know, you said it best when he charged the ball, had no chance to throw out Billy Burns with Butler's base hit. He tried to make something spectacular, no chance. He makes the error, and this time down 6, he goes for 2 when he could have settled for a base hit, but shows the aggressiveness. And as his manager said, they're playing hard. They're just not playing very well right now, they being the Tigers.
Now Kinsler stands in, and here's the pitch. Swung on, foul back. The positioning helped Fields get the double because Reddick was swung over toward right center and had a sprint toward the right field line. He had to go back against the grain, and he caught it and spun and through. So all the Fields contingent now passing along all the notes to the rest of the family around the country, no doubt. 0-1 pitch is outside.
And without Cespedes having the flu-like symptoms and the foul ball, he probably wouldn't have played. Because he's up here because Rajay Davis and his wife are having their second child. We wish them the best.
1-1 pitch, swung on, lifted out of play off to the right. And we'll pause 10 seconds. Station identification here on the A's Radio Network. On a Thursday from downtown Detroit with Glenn Kuiper and Ray Fosse. Vince Cotroneo with you. A's leading 7-1 in the ninth. Another sinker pounded behind the plate by Kinsler. And stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
And Vinny, as we go through this season and we think back to June the 4th, which is today, and the A's have a chance to, in a 6-game series, win 4 and lose 2 and could have won even more. And look back and say, that's the same Tigers team, probably in first place in the Central Division. They're going to play better.
1-2 offer, grounded sharply up the first baseline. Diving is Vogt. He can't get it. Fields will come around third, and he will score. Reddick gets to the baseball toward the line, keeps Kinsler first, but he's got an RBI single, and the A's lead is now 7-2. Sometimes when you're a ground ball pitcher, and that's the case for Dan, that you get the pitch, you get the ground ball, but it finds a hole, and it did just inside the line past the elusive attempt of Stephen Vogt. So for Kinsler's 23rd RBI.
And for the A's last night, a very good game, 9th inning. And the Tigers ended up scoring, hit a couple of balls very hard.
First pitch grounded up the middle. That's a base hit for Martinez. Up to second base is Kinsler. Martinez with his first hit this year against the A's in 23 at-bats. Now it's starting to get a little too interesting. And that'll bring Tyler Collins to the plate.
But you said it right, Vinny, about the ground balls. That could have been 3 or 4 feet to the left for a 6-4-3 double play to end the game. Instead, it's up the middle for a base hit.
And now Kurt Young is going to go out to the mound, and the A's are going to get Tyler Clippard up and working in their bullpen. And Kurt, the Michigander, who always has family and friends here when we come to town, will try to slow things down as Clippard begins to slowly loosen up. Clippard has suddenly got a chance to do what the closer likes to do, and that is come into those save situations and get the job done. And Clippard, in his last 4 appearances, they've all been save opportunities, and he has collected saves in each of those outings.
The cleanest was Tuesday. And not only he, but Scribner, of course, retired 6 straight.
Had 9 up and 9 down in that victory. Now Collins stands in, left-hand batter, and he takes over but low, ball 1. Castellanos waiting on deck. A's leading 10-8. Have out hit them 10-8, leading the score 7-2. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, kept it away from Collins. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's 0 for 3. Drove one to the wall and left. That Sam Fuld ran down. By the way, Andy Perino is in the game at short for the A's. And Eric Sogard has moved from short over to second base. And Ben Zobrist is out of the game. 1-1 pitch swung on and belted a deep right. Collins makes a bid, and he has hit it out. A 3-run homer, and suddenly it is a 2-run game.
And you know what that means? Tyler Clippard's going to be in the game.
Wow. Tyler Collins with his second big league home run. He had one last year, and he just tattooed the pitcher Motero, scoring Kinsler and Martinez. And suddenly the A's lead is now 7-5.
And Bob Melvin going to get confirmation that Tyler Clippard is ready, and he will be coming in the game, second trip, and that quickly. And thankfully, Cabrera struck out in the first at bat.
So Melvin is going to make the move. He's going to bring on Clippard to try to suddenly close out a far too close game here in the ninth. Castellanos is due. Clippard is next. Pitching change in Detroit, and we'll come back after this. inning, and he struck out the best hitter for the Tigers in Miguel Cabrera. But then the ground ball double, followed by singles by Kinsler and Martinez also on the ground. And it got the Tigers a run, but then laid one in there for Tyler Collins in a place he didn't want to put it. And Collins unloaded with his first home run of the year, and now Clippard comes on to try to get out of town with his 9th save and the A's 23rd victory of the year. Tyler will get the bonus with nobody on base of working out of the windup, which he likes to do.
And Collins close to hitting one out to left field in an earlier at bat that Ford caught against the wall. But he did not miss the one he just hit with 2 runners on base.
So here's Castellanos, 2 outs, or rather 1 out, nobody on. And he is 1 for 3 today. Clippard ready to go. The long and lean right-hander from Clearwater, Florida. The glove in front of the chest. Looks into Fegley. And the pitch on the way. It is high, ball 1.
Manny McCann's the on deck circle to hit for Holiday.
A's have had some horrible endings to games here the last 2 years. We talked about earlier with the walk-off by Torrey Hunter and the walk-off by Rajay Davis, each in 13 and 14. 1-0 pitch is foul back, and it's 1-1.
And they always seem to be Thursday afternoons. I know the one a couple of years ago when Torrey hit the walk-off, that was a Thursday afternoon following 3 unbelievable games, beating a very good pitching staff, and had a chance to get Max Scherzer a loss as he was going for win number 20.
1-1 the count, and the righty's pitch swung on and popped up behind first. Foul territory. Vogt giving a look toward the seats, but he won't have a play. About 6 rows back. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. When asked about Tyler Clippard before the game today, and Stephen Vogt may have banged his foot a little bit up against the tarp, and he's limping rather noticeably on that right leg, and that is not a good sign for the A's.
It might have been his knee, Vinny, because it's kind of flexing his leg, bringing his knee up, and of course the tarp might have gotten him as he went after the ball. We're going to take a look at a replay in-house, and no, he just stopped, and something got him, and it is his right foot.
Walt Horn, the A's assistant head athletic trainer, is with Stephen behind first base with Bob Melvin. And you know, Stephen doesn't like to show the pain, but he's in pain, and this might be the case where the A's going to have to bring Mark Cannon to this game to play first base. And that's going to be, I think, the decision here. You got to get Vogt out. He's limping noticeably, and that's.
I don't think it's his foot either, Vinny. I think something happened when he kind of decelerated, and let's hope it's minimal, because we've seen guys that when they've tried to stop, we saw Ben Zobrist heading to third trying to stop, and how that affected his surgically repaired knee. And of course, Stephen Vogt, he was limping on the left, wasn't he?
He was limping on his right foot.
Right foot, okay. Well, that's the one that he had surgery.
And it's going to be Max Muncy, not Mark Canna. Max Muncy comes into the game to play first base. 1-2 the count on Castellanos. 7-5 our score, as the Tigers have scored 4 times in the inning. The big blow, the 3-run homer from Tyler Collins. And now the windup and the 1-2. Fastball fouled back again.
And Vinny, now all of a sudden there's only one catcher. Stephen Vogt, of course, playing first base. Both catchers in the lineup today, but now Josh Fegley is back behind the plate, and he's it with Stephen Vogt. And we hope he's okay, because that did not look good, especially the way he was limping off.
It's a big blow in a number of different areas for the A's if it takes any amount of time. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, serve towards center. Burns comes on. Billy will get there as he leans and leaves his feet and makes the catch. And there are 2 outs now for Brian Holiday's spot, and it'll be taken by James McCann.
Vinny, with the speed of Billy Burns, he does not need to be diving like that. I mean, and if the ball starts to die, he can recognize that, and he's going to. And there's some things that he's continuing to learn, but that's one that he used a burst of speed to get under the ball instead of having to last instant try to leave his feet as he did.
So if the A's can nail this down, it'll be encouraging that the A's have a 4-game winning streak and sweep the Tigers, but there's going to be a pall in the A's clubhouse because of the uncertainty of Stephen Vogt. Now McCann stands in, and the first delivery is inside with a change, ball one. McCann, 281 against the league, 2 homers and a dozen RBIs. 7-5 Oakland in the 9th. The windup and the righty's offer. Swing and a miss, came right back with an off-the-table changeup. But talking about Clippard, the one thing that Bob Melvin said was, I didn't realize how much presence he had. I didn't know how good the off-speed package was that he delivers to the plate.
Absolutely.
Until he saw it firsthand. And needing it today, here's the 1-1. Inside, tried another change. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Two and 1 on McCann. And the pitch is fouled back. Anthony Ghost in the on-deck circle. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the Tigers are down to their last strike, and as much as they're rallying back in this game, and again, it has a very familiar feel to what the A's have been going through for a number of weeks, that they still may be saddled with their 7th consecutive loss.
We hope so.
Let's find out after this pitch. The 2-2. Swung on, high fly ball to left. Back is Fold to the track, and he will stop and have room and make the play. And the A's come away with a sweep in Motown. The first time since 2002. The Athletics have won 4 straight, and they sweep the Tigers today by the final of 7-5.
And Jesse Hahn, the first out of the dugout, pitcher of record, thinking it's a piece of cake, 6-run lead. So fortunately, the A's hung on.
So the A's win it today 7-5. We'll come back with the totals from Comerica Park after this.
5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors.
Yikes.